Hello! Testing 1, 2, 3. Hope you guys can hear me alright. Today is the 21st of July. For anyone who may not have tuned in for a while, we are on, I think now we're on our 12th session of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Having, as of last stream, acquired our 4th mythic point. So I guess you can say we're like just shy of halfway through the journey, maybe? Although to be honest, we get that last point kind of abruptly, so maybe I'm halfway or over, we'll see. Party is hit, I think now level 12. Let's see, greetings to Ash, Blade, Lot, Yar, and G. I hope you guys are all doing okay. Look, Guppers, Guppies? Oh, they came through. Yeah, I remember you saying you were unable to get them out previously because due to their temperature. Majestic. Actual guppies. Wait, they come in different hues. I wasn't aware that they came in shades of black. I thought they're all like goldfish-like. You got freaking obsidian guppies. That's a thing? Look at me learning some stuff. Given how much I profess the might of guppies, you think I'd know this particular fact. Damn. Yesterday was a bit cooler. Those are burnt guppy. You mean like the obsidian emote? Yeah, okay then. How you doing, bud? So, I spent a chunk of yesterday making sure to allocate the levels and mythic points for all the party members. Even though we don't necessarily have plans to use them consistently, there are some where it is worthwhile doing both their story and their quests. And I also don't want to fall too far behind, otherwise it can be a pain in the ass to go through that. We also had to respec my guy. The build I'd been following, things kind of went a bit awry because my character's alignment had shifted to lawful evil, which was always the intent, but it locked me out because of in my initial setup, so I went through the respec process, so I had to become lawful. Well, yeah, I just say it'd be neutral evil or lawful, and my choices just coincidentally led to it being lawful evil. I've since respec'd my character to that. I'm actually surprised it allowed to such an extent, because it allows you to basically just recreate the character. I didn't think it would offer you that much flexibility. I thought it might impose restrictions on you. Hey, Elixir! But yeah, you effectively just recreate the character as if they're at their existing level, which in my case was a level 12 and 4 mythic points. Hey, Ash! Did I get some sleep? Mostly, yeah. There's still construction going on. It looks like they continue to do some of the gas work, and it is resulting in the crew coming along in the wee hours of the morning. It does disturb me briefly, but the good news is they're moving further and further away. So, and they do appear to be starting a little later than normal. So I get a couple of disturbances, but it's, you know, by that point I'm already starting to stir awake. But I got today's walk done and dusted. I thought I was going to get caught out in the rain, but I got a little lucky. Just on the way back, it was just showing early signs of it, and then it very quickly dissipated. So that went quite nicely. My left leg though is in a lot more pain than I thought it would be. It's been acting up for the past 48 hours. Just a bit of a flare-up. Let's see, glad I started with Satisfactory and not with Dyson Sphere program. Playing Dave's PSC is more complex and customizable than Satisfactory. I got eased in. Yeah, it's like, you know, when you're, not the best analogy, but if you were trying to get into the ARP genre, you'd start with like something like Diablo, and then if you then shifted to something like Last Epoch, you'd have an easier time. Or if you did Last Epoch and then PoE. So you kind of have an ease of entry, rather than just getting yeeted into the deep end. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it was thanks to Blade, because he was able to get you some shinies. So yeah, appreciate you doing that, Blade. So let me get punched in. We'll see where we're up to. So we got blue balled with the Lich mythic path again. The ritual kind of bounced back the first time Zacharias attempts to do it, because there is there's some sort of like interference, or at least your connection. Obviously, we know from a meta standpoint it's because of what Arilu's done, connection to the world wound. So we're instructed to get our hands on a particular item, although the best that Zacharias can do is just tell us of the general direction where he believes it is. We do eventually find said item among Arilu's old abandoned lab. When you do finally return to him, I thought the ritual was going to be performed then and there, but looks like you need some more time to research. So I'm not sure if that is simply time gated, or if you have to progress further. Because by this point, I'm pretty sure whether you did angel or demonic path, you already had those major shift in features. I guess you could argue in Lich I've had some of that, but that's more in the sense that the colour of my face is just completely drained and I've taken a more darkish hue like a damper. But this be our boy here now, so
you are mad.
the character has since been respec'd into a
Seth, which celebrity is not good at swimming? Robert Downey Jr.
Thank you for the biddies, Cam, cool. The character has since been respec'd into Primalist. So I've still got raging capabilities. I need to fix a bunch of toolbars as well still, because I haven't yet had a chance to leave with the party at the moment. But yeah, most just needed about a level or two worth of points added. Did you respec because of the nerf? That's part of the reason, but I would have continued were it not for the fact that because my character's alignment has gradually shifted to lawful, the previous build was no longer working. You can't have a lawful alignment. Like, it simply prevented us from being able to allocate any further points. So we kind of repurposed it and then went primalist. Still got the cross-blooded aspects. Guess what tonight is? I have no idea, Ash. Yeah, not being able to actually be the build the guy was meant for definitely sucked. But thankfully the respecking didn't take too long. I thought I messed it up initially when I was following the layout that you had done. It mentioned when you get the option, change bloodline for rage powers and pick lethal stance and beast home. It didn't happen at level 3. I think it happened a little bit later. So I thought, did I fuck up? But in the end, I believe I've allocated the points correctly and then re-equipped my guy. So we should be good to go. Idiot Slayer, thank you for the 53 more resub at tier 2. Thank you. And thank you again, Camcool, for the biddies. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, nice. Count me in.
What? Oh, and lawnmower cards.
I think you mean lawn cutting night ashray, eh?
Did I fuck up the drive? I don't know with 100% certainty. All I can tell was when I hit level 3, the option that you placed there didn't show up, so I thought maybe I might have incorrectly allocated a level or a feat or something, but then it ended up appearing a little bit later, so it fixed itself in the end. It just was later than I think what you intended to place it. Right, okay, yeah, it was a level later. That's fine. Yeah, I kind of ran with it, expecting it to show up later. Oh, you have to do adult things. Okay then. But yeah, it worked out in the end. Got to level 12, got the 4 mythic points allocated, re-equipped the gear. My guy is looking good to go. Still get to keep all those beautiful immunities that come from the excuse me, the cross-blooded aspect. So a lot of immunities. Be it well, cold and fire don't do any damage, and we get a whole host of extra goodies as well on top of that. We do need to return to the commander's room, because I think the Crusader management, a few of them hit their next threshold, so I need to give them guidance. I ended up reloading it because I wanted to freaking move on to the Lich Mythic Path event, but then Zacharias had to blue ball us, cunt that he is, You remember what happened last time? I do. I do. So, hence why I said you're not too keen on doing adult fangs. You had to go to a different one, didn't you? I'm trying to remember. My memory's hazy, but did I hear correctly? There was one you used to go to regularly, but I don't know, they closed down or something? So you have to go to a different one. Or was that a fever dream? These days my brain can struggle to keep fact and fiction together. Doesn't a final shift happen at Mythic 8 when you make the final choice of which path to follow? Possibly, because you have a big appearance shift. You get the character portrait, so probably. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As far as the quests go, now that we're level 12, I do have plans to return to that dragon. Like, we're 2 levels higher. We've got another extra mythic point. Hopefully with an improved ability to pass some of those skill checks, we should be able to get the drop on the dragon and have a much better experience. We'll also have haste with us as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, the In Pursuit of the Past we can't do until the storyteller is back with us. Middle game, this is a long-term project. Essentially, you need to max out the Crusader stats, so that's the discipline, supplies, alliances, and combat strength. It's just do the mechanic. Finian's Quest, we got a bit of traction. I think we need to progress further, closer to Is, and you'll eventually find where the bladesmith is. It just requires you to kill the guy, and then you decide what to do with Finian afterwards. Wayward is Embers. This is also time-gated, heavily reliant on as you progress further through the game. We don't have to worry about Social's quest. I basically told him to fuck off. I've told Nenio to fuck off. We've killed Camellia, so very quickly NPCs that annoy me are disappearing and dying like flies. So that closes that one. Price of Knowledge. I don't recall this one. I think someone has to approach me for this. I know where the NPC is. And you're eventually tasked to find... They'll task you to find this half-elf woman who is located on the outskirts of Wintersun. I do have plans to return to the Midnight Isle. I think we did 2 of the islands, but I do have plans to return there. Blackwater is absolutely last. Fucking hate that place. But I need to be as strong as possible if I dare set foot in there. Dragon Hunt is high on the priority. We know where the Sanctum is. We got the key. We want to be careful though. We have to resolve the quest with the Dragon Hunt before we go to the Sanctum. If you go to the Sanctum too quickly, then I believe the flag is raised that you've deviated too far, and Grey Boar decides to bounce. You did kill that snit. I did in the end. Couldn't res her as a thrall. No, sadly, no option like that. No opportunity to stow her carcass elsewhere, so not on the menu. Unless something crops up later as a dialogue option, like it did with Staunton, where you get tasked with what do you want to do with the body. No dice. Despite my best attempts. I guess she wasn't helpful in the end. Dragon's Fate is tied also to the storyteller, which is that you need to present the Claw of Terendelev, I believe. And then Sword of Valor, that's its own thing. So that just leaves us with these. So what we're going to do... I'm going to speak to Wilser to vendor off some of the random items that we found on our last voyage. And then we'll head into the command room and then see about the... Crusader management. Make sure that the army is not dicking around. We set them to task and basically go from there. So Wilser is usually chilling around about where Woljif is. Hey Onkel! How you doing, bud? There's our boy. Once again, the reason I trade everything generally if the opportunity allows with one NPC. If circumstances have it where I do a build change or respec a character, it's just nice to know that one specific vendor has all the items that you've entered, so you can always get them back. Magical or mundane. So if my memory serves, everyone. So Steve has the eye for an eye, which is already a composite enhancement 3, but it also has an extra effect. So he wouldn't need a standard one like this. Yeah. The other person would then be Arushale, who already has a composite +3. And then lastly, we got Delamere, and she has the same thing, but has the speed modifier, meaning if a full attack's done, she gets to fire 1 extra time, assuming she's not under the effect of haste. Steve is spec'd for short bows. I don't know what Steve is spec'd for, actually, thinking about it. I think he can do. I don't think he really discriminates. I'll double check. Oh, let's get rid of those at least. Gotta double check. I can't remember if it's longbow. Then we could give him the composite one that I had. Steve character, abilities, feat. Yeah, there's no specific unless it's in traits. Not at the moment.
Exile. Mad, and I love it.
What do you call a pumpkin leshy guard patrolling a pathway? A tool gourd.
Thank you for the biddies, Darius. Tool gourd. He's getting worse. Yeah, not at the moment, but it is possible as the. Okay, I don't know the level progression for the skeletal marksman. Like if it differs in some way. Because right now it just shows you the proficiency that he has. So you got point blank, precise shot. And none of these are tethered to a specific weapon type. Although generally I do favour the longbows because of the better range. You can just put a longbow on him anyways. Might as well, yeah. Because like I said, the effect of this one isn't crazy. When it lands a hit, they suffer an extra 1d12. I much prefer like the range, because the short bow has it be 40, and the longbow is a solid 50, which is fine. Can work with that, you know. Thank you again for the biddies, Dereks. How far in your lichiness are you? We got our 4th mythic point in the previous stream, so you could say just under half. Although, to be fair, the 10th and final mythic point you don't really get until the last half an hour of the game, if that. So I would say we're probably halfway then, based off of that. So let's see, I had a blast yesterday. Went to my friend's summer house with him and another friend. We ate barbecue, burgers, and loads of other stuff. I can feel my arteries hardening out the roof just reading that. Played Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart 8D, and board game. I love Mario Kart, man. The one I played the longest was the one on the GameCube. Me and my best mate used to play that all the time. The 10th point is so useless, it's kind of sad. The only mileage it gets is if you do the DLC. You know, when you continue playing after the fact. Holy stream, you finished BG3. Yeah. If there's a gap in the middle. I'll probably revisit things like Brotato, maybe? I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Though, at the pace I'm going, we might be cutting it a little close. So we'll have to wait and see. Got some good news today. Oh! What's good news? I'm curious now. Wait, Ashley said, the fuck did I do to my lower back? Probably sleeping. Sleeping over the age of 35 will do that. I know you had just like, or breaking it with a crick in your neck. Travel for work got pushed back a week. Oh shit, so you actually get to play at the start. Unless, you know, we get the PoE announcement and they're like, yeah, it started a week later. At that point, I'd be convinced that this thing was rigged. With 4 points, what can they do? Do you look undead yet? Not quite. The only thing that's changed is the character's overall complexion. Like the The normal kind of, humanoid type of palette of the skin has now kind of drained away. You look more like a Dampier, if anything. So you have more of, much like, coincidentally, it looks quite a bit like this, which I wasn't really intending. I didn't realize that's the change that happened. I knew there'd be some changes when you took on the Necromancer Mythic Path. I just didn't realize it'd match my my guy in the picture so well. All I'm missing is the hat, and I literally matched that to a T. Yeah, we had to reallocate points. Basically, the barbarian build I had, the one that GU was kind enough to put together, it ran into an issue because of my dialogue choices. My character's alignment, which I knew was very possible, it shifted to lawful, which you can't be as a barbarian. So we shifted to the primalist. It'll still work fine. You'll still use the scimitar and shield combo. And it plays very, very similarly to its predecessor. It's just we don't have to worry about the alignment so much. Let me start this crap. So we will do away with this dagger, eye for an eye. I'll hang on to the Fang of Malice. This crossbow I might keep. This scimitar is no longer useful. It's a real frickin' travesty, man, that I don't have a Kukri user. God damn it. Such a good weapon. Such a good weapon. It's a +3 cold iron Kukri to begin with, and it does d6 fire, electricity, and acid damage. I know, yeah. I mean, out of respect, right, I'm going to hang on to this. Kind of like a cash in the form of an item. Doesn't weigh a lot. Who knows, maybe I might change my mind and decide to utilize that. Just not at the moment. That should do. Okay, that brings us to 214,000. That crossbow probably give that to Damon. We can do away with the old one. Thank you, Dutchman, for the 74-month resub friend. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
r/place is back up. And Canada still can't make a decent maple leaf for their flag.
Wait, this sounds like a subreddit of some kind. Is that what we're talking about? Or is that something else? I are confused. But thank you for the resub. Okay, it is subreddit. I thought I was missing something. Alright. Oh, what I should do, let me do Arushale's dialogue, because we haven't had a chance to sit down with her yet since you recruited her. Then I'll go into the commander's main room. And then, well, command, as I do. The place where she chills
is the key to victory.
makes a lot of sense here, staying near a holy place. So let's see. Arushale's ruby eyes stare watchfully at passers-by who don't notice her even at arm's length, or she's keeping herself hidden. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? So I'm like, we're being attacked by demons with unusual powers. Do you know anything about them? Arushale thinks for a long while. Finally she answers hesitantly. Back in Alushanera, there are rumours about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Discari performed on their troops to make them stronger. The rumours are actually true. Here on the material plane, these rumours were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zon Kuthon, hey, my patron. Others say they feed on the blood of angels or clip-offs or demon lords. Last one's more accurate. Still, others say that there are no experiments and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future. A future in which the demons have already taken all of Galarian. Okay, now we're over-embellishing. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? Hey, Super Nappy. How you doing, bud? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumours give any indication of where these demons come from. I'm sorry, but I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. And what are you doing here? I'm watching. She nods at the city dwellers as they hurry past. I'm listening to their conversations, studying their faces, trying to understand what they truly are. Don't you think you're being a little creepy? What? The succubus blinks in surprise. Really? Why? I don't mean any harm. Well, you know, you're kind of staying hidden, watching them, almost leering. Someone probably thinks there's a set of eyes watching them at all times. Why do you like to watch people? You know, in my old life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie, or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that was my life for many centuries. Now I see I knew nothing. A demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death and where to thrust it for a long and painful one, and he thinks that's enough. My knowledge it was the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to my victims' memories. Let's see, I'm alright. Somewhere in Act 3 as well. Just did Winter Sun. Oh, I did that in my last stream. Yeah, those axes, man. I've given them to Wenduog at the moment. There's also a couple of other items you can get there that are quite nice. Have you learned anything new about mortals? They love cats. This is true. Life speaks in a very serious manner as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you, but then a moment later she smiles to give the joke away. But seriously, have your observations of humans led to anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I've only been watching them for a short while, but I think I've understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see this isn't true. You mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream for yourself and everyone you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie, because the daydream is your truth. The MC is using them. Yeah, they're really good weapons, man. Especially because of the effects that come with one of them. Let's start with you. Tell me about yourself. I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. Well, let's start. Where do succubi come from? Did you have a childhood? No. Well, yes. But in brief, the Abyss is nothing like the mortal world. Arushale makes a gesture in the air trying to find the right words. You remember life since conception. No, wait. You don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally when a human dies, the Lady of Graves decides which plane they go to. Most often those who arrive in the Abyss turn into larvae. You know, the little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other, and the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how that transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them, like caterpillars out of butterflies. No, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay. I don't know what happened to the larvae that they used to make me. And my own memory, it begins with vague, fragmentary images. Terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad half gnawed by the larvae. He was crying and begging to be killed. I pointed at him and laughed and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me. I'm so ashamed. Yeah, her past ain't gonna exactly be sunshine and rainbows, is it? I used it against something that wasn't in sneak attack range, then paralyzed it on the second hit, then suddenly sneak attack damage. Yeah, this happened a few times with me, with some enemies. You know, you're doing like okay damage, and all of a sudden you're like, hang on, why am I all of a sudden hitting every blow and sneak attacks triggering? You do throw quite a few of those axes. How did you end up turning against the Abyss? Temptation. Strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant, and all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the role of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. My last looks away. My last victim was a priestess of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams. So I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, forgive me goddess, to mock Desna. This priestess lay in my arms dying of my kiss. I remember every smallest detail, the cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back in her head, her weak whisper. It's difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like, but the goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there for longer than I planned. So what did Desna do to you? As punishment she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke with the flick of her finger. The gods rarely trouble themselves with the lives of mortals, and even less so with demons, but for reasons of her own she paid me special attention. She awoke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me, all those humans. I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them and placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all their hopes and pain. I'm sorry, but it's hard for me to talk about this. You don't have to. The most important thing I realised was that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams, and that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself, if only I can understand who I am. So, you do not know who you are? What of you? Do you know who you are? Are there any mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, what do you dream of? And I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Each is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desiring. Desires for sex, flattery, and food. But now I have me, and it's amazing, but it's so complicated. So what did you do after Desna converted you? I travelled. In the beginning, I thought it wise to keep away from demons and their temptations. Run off to Absalom, or perhaps even further to another plane. But then I realised that I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called to me, tempting me and seducing me. If I ran away, I would soon return to my old habits. That's why I came here to join the war, to remember who my enemy is, to defeat the enemies not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well, because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. Hey, Blank. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy and regularly reported back to the priest of Desna whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I would never have been caught, but when I learned that Discaria was planning an attack on Canabras, there was no time for caution. I risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. You still sound tired, everything okay? It's not, but I'm managing. Ooh. What are my options here? Thank you for ordering from evil. With my help, you could return and inflict terrible vengeance on all the demons who put you through that. Though I suspect you probably won't be keen on this. Return to the abyss? Why? I don't even want to look at it. Oh, well, we're going to be going there soon. So, do you worship Desna now? The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be impudent. I'm grateful to her, but I try not to trouble her with my prayers. I appreciate the answers. So may I ask you a personal question, the kind of question a mortal might ask a succubus? Let's see, you want to talk about... Well, not quite that, but let's go with that. Let's see, I'll not keep secrets soon, but don't expect to hear anything light-hearted or pleasant. So, the kiss of a succubus is deadly, isn't it? Not just the kiss, any caress of any kind sucks the life from mortals, and then there's nothing I can do about it. For mortals, tenderness is tenderness and violence is violence, but I don't know what it's like to kiss and not inflict pain. I just hope my observation of mortals will help me understand. Young lovers, old spouses, even what mortals condemn as promiscuity. To me it all looks like something amazingly human. It's like in a giant zoo and we're the ones We're the attraction. I've been playing Remnant 1. Is it any good? Ask her about... Well, ask a succubus about the suck. Okay, let's not do that, because obviously she's not trying to go down that route. Did you get your payout? Yeah. It took, I think it was about just under 2 weeks from email sent, like that first one, telling me of the account being flagged, and then giving them the information they needed. Hey Frank, Seth is finally rich. Define rich? Hey Spab, how you doing, bud? Haven't played one either, but I watched Ko and Baru play it a lot. I'm not sure which game this is. The name rings a bell, but that might have been because I've probably seen them, you know, left hand side of Twitch where it shows those that you followed, what they've been streaming. Millions of internet cash forked over by the Twitch snap. Oh no, that was just what I was due for the previous month. That's all that was. First game is called Remnant from the Ashes. That name I do know. Okay, I know what game we're talking about now. I think Dozer had streamed that a bit. Let's see. So you mean you don't just watch people during the day out in the street? Well, I never touch anyone. I never harm anyone. I just watch and listen. Is that bad? I would say you must respect others' privacy. Please restrict yourself to observing people in public. If you say so, I'm sorry if I did something wrong. I haven't quite figured out how mortal life works. We'll get there eventually. So what is sex between demons like? Everything demons do is sort of a cannibalism. A good old-fashioned cannibalism. Each devours mortals and other demons in their own way. Some enjoy literally tearing off pieces of flesh with their teeth. Others like to subdue and turn their prey into slaves and living tools. Some feed on others' humiliation. It comes in different forms, but the essence is always the same. Another being is an object to be used for your own pleasure. Demon sex doesn't differ from any other type of violence. In my former life, it was something I did to others or others did to me. Only one person ever received pleasure, not the other. It definitely leaning on the more darker edges of that. Do you still... Of course she does. She's a succubus. You see, on the other hand, my succubus nature remains with me. I feel the desire is the one from my old life. When I look at any mortal, I immediately imagine how, yeah, going back to our old ways. I'm down to get some bite marks on me. Yeah, I don't think they're quite going down that route. You know, they're not leaving you a little freaking hickey. It's more like they want to tear a good mouthful out of you, like it's an episode of The Walking Dead. But that feeling, that desire, is not what mortals feel. When you like someone, you don't ponder how good it would feel to drink their soul, do you? Some might, depending on how unhinged you are. You think about how good it would feel to be together. Together, you see. You know how to want someone, and at the same time not want to destroy them. For me, it's always one and the same. I'm not even talking about love, just the common mutual affection of mortals when they're not poisoned with violence. Now I know that I've never felt it. It's hard to imagine how it's even possible. Well, thank you for being open. Is there anything else we could do live in the Abyss? Can't tell you about all of the Abyss, I've only seen a small part of it. If you like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles and Illusionera, which is where we're going to be going. In both places. Tell me about the Midnight Isle. In the ocean of Ishiar, not far from the mouth of the river Styx, there's a chain of islands. This is the realm of Nocticula, the queen of the succubi. There is no sun there, only moonlit night, alternating with a moonless one. Each of the islands is one of Nocticula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you see, you cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Yeah, literal demon lord corpses. Tell me about Illusionera. The Porphyry City is Nocticula's capital. There is no city like it in the mortal world. Absalom is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Some come voluntarily, not only from Galarian, but from other planes as well. Nocticula keeps an open boundary and enjoys having many guests merchants and travellers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the most thriving business in the city. Now, these fuckers would do well in the United Cities for Kenshi. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves, until it's their turn to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. And what are some places of interest in Illusion? The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets, where the slave trade takes place. I grew up in the mansion of Lady Valexia. I remember that, huh? That freaking that cow. Her house is always full of guests doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performance is not to her liking risk remaining at her house forever. The main attraction of the Succubi city is, of course, the brothels, the 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there you can find the Harem of Ardent Dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Chimera, Nocticula's right hand and mayor of Illusionera, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. The most famous of them is Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously without breaks and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win. It only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above all, it all towers the House of Silk and Shadows. Hey Mariki, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the delights of the Succubi Queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure and not theirs. And what can you tell me about Nocticula? She's called the Lady in Shadow. They say that she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful of the demon lords, but this hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building a kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamashtu, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess, which I think in the official Pathfinder literature, I'm not sure if it's canon if she achieves that. Managing for the most part, Maniki. How about you? Whenever I look at the ZC emote, I always think Ziz has a bald spot on top. Wait, on the emote? I'm not sure how you're seeing that. Is it because of the shading? Nocticula is a goddess in Pathfinder 2nd edition. I thought so. In canon, Ember was right. Right, hence why she takes such an interest in Ember. Let's see, woke up an hour ago, not doing great on the whole sleeping schedule front. Alright, well, you're welcome to pull up a chair. We've only been streaming for about an hour. Getting my own mental gears a-turning. She's also chaotic neutral and more modestly dressed. I guess, you know, once you ascend to a particular realm and ascribe to certain precepts, gotta make yourself look a bit more presentable. Let's see, she enjoys killing, but her favourite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there are no other games to play, and even then she backstabs from the shadows. Her favourite weapon is a crossbow, though a silk garut would suit her better. If you should ever meet her, which we will, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game. And most importantly, remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. Yeah, don't enter into an agreement with her. I'm tempted to leave it as it is. A lot of the ExileCon streams are going to be pretty late at night for us. Yeah, what time are they going to even be happening? I've not even done the maths. Thanks for the info. What do you think of the powers I gave you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. When you have so much power, it's easy to decide you're a god, and the mortals are your toys. Perhaps I should wait until after we defeat the forces of the Abyss. But that's precisely what these powers are for. You take a great risk. I'm not sure I can handle the temptation. It's hard enough as it is. Alright. That for now concludes our dialogue with...
Keep your calm.
Arusha Layers. Not sure I have a time, but I have dates. Basically it's 29th and 30th or something. So it's happening at the end of the month.
To success.
Hey Zokotai! How you doing, bud? Right, so now we need to address my little war council. I think there were at least like 2 or 3 events. 2 minimum. We need to do some delegation.
I will guide.
Most of the time, trying to run this crusade successfully is making sure that the existing powers are not trying to undermine you because you're just simply too successful and they feel threatened that if you continue, you threaten their space. I think they start on midnight for you. So basically when my stream would be ending? Jesus. Have you gone full Lich yet, or are you still blue balling it? So, it's still a blue ball. We got the item that Zacharias had tasked us to find. Basically leads you to Arilu Vorlesh's old abandoned labyrinth, and when in there you find the actual item in question. When you present that to Zacharias, he needs time. So we haven't, like, we're literally just picking it up from there. I suspect you probably have to progress far enough, and then eventually you kind of lock in the Lich part of the Mythic Path in its totality. But that's still a little ways away from the sounds of it. Alright, we'll know more about the time zone as it draws close. So, wait, Nistra. Oh, was she the one that was trying to find the Mad Elf? Hail Knight Commander. A young woman in knight's armour doesn't walk so much as burst into the hall, striding up to you and dropping gracefully to one knee. Nistra Flamefinger at your service. Her Majesty Queen Galfrey has done me the honour of naming me the new leader of the Order of the Flaming Lance. What happened to the old one? Was that CR? Ah, yeah. You didn't save the dying Crusaders and the pillage. Yeah, I don't give a shit. From this moment, I am the Order at your disposal. What does your order do? Most Crusaders' orders rely on a bastion of steel and blessings from above. We reject neither, but our primary weapon is magic. Mystic spellcasters and researchers of the supernatural gather under our banner. I see. Did they change the topped gifter badges? It looks different than I remember. I don't know. I've not noticed anything different myself. What happened to the last leader of your order? Let's see. Mjolnir, the scholar, was in Canabras, but she left the city not long before the demons attacked. She has officially been reported missing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the Mad Elf that we saw. Many people think her dead. However, if I may be allowed to speak freely. Nistra's voice hardens and fury sparks in her eyes. Sister Mjolnir has always placed her personal curiosity above the needs of the Order. I venture that she willingly absented herself from Canabras and is now alive and well, conducting research somewhere, having completely forgotten about the crusade. She holds out a leaflet to you, a portrait of a stern-looking half-elf woman printed on grey paper. Yeah, I think this only triggered after you have spotted her on the outskirts of where the Winter Sun village is. That's what she looks like. If you find her alive or dead, the Order would be grateful for the chance to pay their last respects, or to put her on trial for desertion. It's not immediately apparent, but you recognize the face in the picture. It's the mad woman that you saw by the petrified tree near Wintersun. Welcome to Dresden. Thank you, Commander. I hope we'll soon have a chance to prove what we're capable of. So I think we have to meet her outside and then explain to her what's happened. Terta. Commander, the woman entering the room is horribly wounded. Her simple clothes are soaked with blood. Her face has been beaten to a pulp and one arm is twisted at an unnatural angle. She walks towards you, but her legs give out and she falls to the floor. Ah, yeah, the cultists of Baphomet have taken Ember. Right. Yeah, she's like, Ember's been taken. Wait, what's wrong with her? Baphomet cultists came to her sermon. They slaughtered everyone and took her off to their unholy shrine to sacrifice her. I can tell you where it is. I'm begging you. hurry before they do something to it. Okay, so my guy wouldn't give two shits about this last. Some like Baphomet cultists in Dresden. They're everywhere, Commander. The army, the bureaucracy, ordinary people, they have spies high and low, and they recruit those weak in spirit. Some of them get caught, but they're like mold. If you miss just one speck, it's not long before they spread everywhere again. We'll have to get to that. By the way, Swift, did you talk about the community BG3 decision that you chose to do? I think I missed everything else beside the announcement. It's all in the announcement. You guys from the poll can, depending on what's voted on, that's going to determine the race and the class that I'm going to be doing. I haven't checked which one's winning out. I think as far as class goes, I think Warlock is in the lead. Last I looked, the race was looking like half-orc, but I think Gnome took the lead, or at least is tied. I don't know. Hey, Hollows. For those who missed it, regarding BG3, if you go into Discord in the announcements section, we've got 2 polls that are open, as those will determine. You guys get to vote the race and class. Lest I default to Amiro again, as has been the recurring meme. 10 PM. How long is this stream scheduled to go on for, anyways? Because if that's the case, then we can kind of just watch that, the announcement together. I can't recall how long the original one went for ExileCon. Hey, Tom. Until 6 AM. Yeah, that might be a bit too much. At least as far as the streaming goes, I don't have the stamina for that. So let's see, how exactly do you know where the Shrine of Baphomet is? You're very perceptive, Commander. The woman lowers her head, stops for a moment, and then forces herself to continue looking you straight in the eye. I didn't come here only to tell you about Ember's abduction, but also to surrender to the law. Arrest me for treason. I am a cultist of Baphomet. It's my fault that Ember was taken. So why are you helping me if you're a cultist? I regret what I did. That doesn't absolve me of my guilt, but at least I can do some good before I accept my punishment. Tell me more about your cult. Nah, it's okay, Medikey. It's starting later than I planned, and the stream will be going a lot later as well. Might just be better if I probably just like raid the stream as it goes live and then just kind of watch it that way. Might be easier. I haven't missed any of it. I just asked some questions in Discord, but you probably haven't got around to seeing them, or maybe they don't need answered. I didn't need answering, really. I mean, I kind of, like I said, the poll is up there. That's how I've decided to do that. You can go into Discord, announcement. There's 3 links. First one takes you to the wiki, in case you want a better idea of the races and class that are available in BG3. And then first and second link are the race and class choices. You can cast your vote for that. I'll probably have the poll open for a few more days, and as we start to draw near, we'll go from there. So what did I ask her? Oh yeah, more about the cult. I was recruited a few months back, came to this city to work on a construction site. I was alone with no friends and no money. I met some nice people in the tavern. Her beaten face twisted into a grimace. We spent some good times together, and they were always willing to help me in any way they could. They even let me borrow money and never asked for it back. I really thought I'd found friends. Then they started saying things about unfairness in the army, that Gelfrey is a tyrant, and you're her executioner, that fighting cultists is just slaughtering innocent people who see things a different way. I felt like something was off. but they were my friends. Well, it didn't even take 2 months before I was kissing the hoof of Baphomet's statue in his shrine, and swearing an oath to his warlord Thasgarod. Break Baphomet's profane altar, destroy his cult, and punish me in front of everyone as an example to the rest. Who the fuck is Thasgarod? A very powerful demon. Oh, I think we fight him when you get to Ember. I've only seen him once, and I almost died of fear. He's huge and he breathes fire and devours human souls. He has an entire army of Templars at his command. So how'd you end up at Ember's sermons? At first I stayed away from her sermons, but the cult leaders kept a close eye on her. People flocked to her. The cultists dreamed of poaching her congregation, and maybe even luring her to their side too. When she started saying prayers for the demon lords, we thought it would be easy to entice them to our side, but we underestimated her. 5 spies, including me, infiltrated her congregation, and when the other cultists came for her, all 5 of us took up arms to protect her from them. And yeah, they just saw her as a little cinnamon roll that had to be shielded. Ember said prayers for demon lords. That can't be true. No, she admits that to you, more or less. You didn't know. She's a true saint. I don't know what else to call her. She was offering up prayers for all the demon lords, Baphomet, Discari, Nocticula, Cabreri, asking that they come to their senses and end this war, stop hurting people. She believes there's good in everyone, even in creatures who are evil incarnate. I don't know if anyone can make demons come to their senses, but she can do it with people. How can I keep hurting crusaders after I, along with the others, appealed to Baphomet's better nature? How can I ask him to repent and not repent myself? Alright, let's see what my judgment will be. Remember how I said one day I would wake up and there'd be a random new kitty in the house? I was right. I woke up around 3 AM this morning to a message saying don't come in the living room too fast. Go downstairs and I meet this tiny British short hair, completely grey, and it has a face on it that is always angry, like a resting grumpy face. Wait, so you got yourself a free cat, as they say. Okay, so hanging her is overkill, so I'd say there can be no mercy for cultists, even former ones. Arrest her. Arrest is the least I deserve. She meekly follows the soldiers escorting her to prison. Could have died, but she did bring news. It's not free, I wish. Well, I imagine the moment you take said cat to the vet, it's going to rack up some costs. Free cats are never free. Oh, it's going to be £400. Oh, I'm sure said feline appreciates the assistance being rendered. Bless him, old Babu. You see a tall old woman with an imperious face and tangled grey hair. She's wearing a simple robe with a decayed hem rather, riddled with small holes. She wears no jewellery but carries herself like a queen. Greetings, Commander. I am Elyanka Camilleri, priestess of Urgathoa of no less wow, a nobleman of the immortal Principality of Ustalav. I also represent the secret society of the Whispering Way. My lord sent me to you to congratulate you on your victory. We're impressed by how bravely and openly you practice the art of death in your dominions. The true nobles of Ustalav, those who haven't forgotten the ancient fame of our country, welcome you as an ally and a kindred spirit. In these times, those who dare to openly practice necromancy and its related arts must stand together. What is this, freaking Necromancers Anonymous? My visit is our first gift to you. A little pretentious, isn't it? A sign of our good intentions. I brought troops with me and talented wizards to help you in the war. We hate the demons as much as you do. We'll be glad to see our northern boundaries change from being a constant threat to the home of a good neighbour. I don't pray to Urgathoa. Doesn't matter. What matters is that what you're doing pleases her. Your deeds for the glory of undeath satiate the pallid princess's hunger better than any prayer. That's good to know. At least my necromantic ways are being approved of, even for a deity whose precepts I don't ascribe to. So why do I need you here? Our undead warriors will serve you well. They know no fear or fatigue. They are unconditionally loyal and can fight demons just as well as your crusaders can. And I'll try to help you with my advice. You don't understand it yet, but your heroic image won't protect you from the attacks of hate mongers who abhor the very thought of necromancy being practiced openly. They will plot behind your back, make attempts on your life, and thwart your plans. So basically, a Tuesday. Our society has been dealing with such intrigues for many years. I'll suggest ways to avoid such traps and strengthen yourself. And of course I'll ask Urgathoa to bestow her mercy on your servants, your lands and your actions. Tell me more about yourself. The old woman raises her chin proudly. My name is Lianka Kamilari. I come from a small but ancient Ustalav family. When I received Urgathoa's blessing I was only 16. At that time, strange people used to come to our forests. They burnt fires, danced around them, sang in an unknown language, made merry and feasted on the meat of stags shot illegally in the Kamilari woods. A9 spaces. Love the image of the demon's face getting shocked at you finding allies and undead minions. Oh yeah, better than living, breathing ones. It's much easier to have an unquestioning and undead legion. Doesn't tire, will follow orders to the letter. And you can easily just raise more. Another good run ruined because of lack of healing. Oh, you're playing the Have a Nice Death, right? Many simple people went to the woods at night to join the strangers. I was also curious about them. One night I ran away from the estate and went to the forest. I found them by following the sound of their singing. They were priests of Urgathoa. They enjoyed life, skillfully and greedily, for death has always been just over their shoulder. After that, I left home every night to dance with them, sing, copulate, while falcon, and enjoy eating half-raw bleeding venison. However, it didn't last long. The servants told my father about my trips. Kamilari hunters followed my tracks, caught us at the edge of the forest, and killed everyone except for me. My strict father spared me. He had sent me to an asylum near Caliphus where I was kept in restraints, starved and tortured in other therapeutic ways. That's a nice loving family. After 3 years I managed to escape. She was 19 by that point. They pursued me, but I made it all the way home. That night they served lamb at the Kamilari estate. Father liked it baked with herbs and flavorful spices, which is why he didn't notice the bitter tang of poison. They all died, my father, my mother, and my 3 brothers and 6 sisters. Wow, he's generous, isn't she? I gave them the gift of Urgathoa, one death, everyone except my father. And then I went deep into the forest, built a fire, ate some meat of a fawn I killed, and sang a song. I sang until 2 frightened and intrigued girls, the forester's daughters, found me in the clearing. Well, she's had a frickin' hell of a story, hasn't she? Why would I trust you? It makes no sense for us to harm you. There are few countries where necromancers take positions of power. We need to stand together to survive. Besides, you're fighting the demons. Our proximity to the world wound has always worried Ustalav. Helping you will allow us to lay the foundation for a strong alliance between us and to eliminate the threat hanging over our lands. Well, we could do with more allies. Sure, welcome to the war. We're glad to serve you, Commander. Oh, I got friends. Kind of. Alright, finally we get into the meat and potatoes of it. Here's Dorjlinda Stranglehold. Hail! Dorjlinda Stranglehold salutes you with her bad hand. Amidst the critical shortage of supplies, a number of soldiers who call themselves Fellows of the Crusade have set up a black market in the army. They steal everything that's not nailed down, trade medicine for swords, and spell scrolls for tobacco and rations. Idiots. And they wonder why the war's being lost. They know better than to ask for anything from command, so they take care of themselves. And if someone's not happy with the trade, out come the knives. I don't know how to deal with it except by alleviating the shortage of essential supplies. We should press Mender for more deliveries. And we need to sort out our storage, build some decent warehouses. Right now it's a thief's paradise. I figured Voldrift would perk up at the sound of that. An underground market, hmm? What's so bad about that? Let them trade things. Let's authorize it. And then there won't be a black market, just a normal, legit market. If someone is in need of something, we're the ones who must provide it. We should ask the priests of many different gods. They have wealth and influence. Maybe they can help. Wendoag, they're fighting over food and equipment. Then let them do it. We'll host fights where everyone can prove themselves and earn supplies and gear. Let our resources go to the best warriors. What is this, fucking Fight Club? I just realised I go, oh yeah, how come you're on the council? You think I shouldn't have joined? It's just, well, I spent a lot of time studying how armies work, both Crusader and Demonic, when I was spying. I think my advice might be useful, or at least I hope it will be, but if I'm a bother, I'll leave. No, just, you know, it's an observation. So, who are these fellows of the Crusade, and where do they come from? Every army has people like them. Crafty folks who are willing to survive at all costs. Keep in mind these aren't brigands, otherwise they wouldn't have enlisted in the Crusader army. They want to free Golarion from the demons just as much as anyone, but their choice of methods is indiscriminate to say the least. Not everyone joins the Crusade out of the goodness of their heart. Some are hiding from Mendev's judgment, some are here for glory, some are dreaming of treasure and spoils. We've got repentant cutthroats, illegitimate children, adventurers, rogues, all kinds. And each one of them is poor and used to not being able to rely on those in power. In their experience, everyone who has any sort of influence is a greedy cheat, and only common folk can be honest. That's why they call themselves the Fellows of the Crusade. They're your fellow soldiers who are trying to make things fair in their own way, and others follow suit. Whether they really believe them, or they're just doing it as a jest, who knows? Oh yeah, cats don't discriminate as to where they want to sleep. If they think they found a spot, it's basically theirs. Why don't we deal with the root of the problem? We'll purge our ranks of the Fellow of the Crusade and put everything back in order. Because they're not the root of the problem. When the army has everything they need, these fellows are just like any other soldier. But when it's like this, empty warehouses, rotten gear, not enough food to eat, many may be forced off the straight and narrow. These are ordinary soldiers. They're not saints, that's true, but they're not hopeless reprobates either. But when you charge into battle every day, you learn to value your life, and you get used to the idea that you're the only one who's responsible for it. Your commander's not your Ma or Da, and they're not going to appear on the battlefield and give you a potion to save you from a curse, or die for you if you don't have one in your bag. So, they make do. How the fuck do you end up here, Voldrift? And why not? I'm your man when it comes to fetching the unfetchable, you know, so I figured I should show the lads in your army how it's done. And it never hurts to be close to those in charge of grub and new boots. I see. Let's hear about these suggestions. Let's start with you, Dorthlander. We need to keep pressing Mendev. Double or triple our efforts if we have to until they finally get proper supply chains up and running. Let the Queen come up with a new tax or make the aristocrats pay up or go into debt. That's not our problem. Norisian sent us here to win a war. So let's make them take care of our needs. Honestly, at this point, our soldiers don't even have a clean shirt to die in with some dignity if they fall. Although, I'm familiar with those misers from the treasury. It's like getting blood from a stone. Mendev's already up to its neck in debts. You can keep shaking an empty mug, but you'll never get more than 3 drops. How about you, Arushalai? The churches of many gods support the Crusaders' cause. They heal, bless, pray. If we ask them, maybe they'll help us ease the shortage of provisions and gear. I'm sure that if we build some shrines, the priests won't refuse to help us. I'm bribing them? The priests are going to help us? Give me a break. They're only generous with prayers and good wishes. Yep. The legendary... We can't send you money or supplies, but we can send you thoughts and prayers. Woldriff, what are you suggesting? Fighting under the counter trade goes about as well as smacking nettles with a stick. Swing all you like, even pave over it. It'll just grow through the stone. If soldiers are trading, it's because they gotta. So let them trade out in the open. We'll build them a market, keep an eye on it to make sure there's no tussle, and that the trade's more or less honest. We'll even be able to make a tidy sum out of it ourselves. The Queen has put you at the head of a disciplined army. Are you sure these kinds of liberties won't hurt that discipline and turn them into a mercenary gang? Well, I'm trying to win a war, not a popularity contest. Let's go window, I guess to say. I say that armor, weapons, all of it must go to the best. We'll build a fighting pit and invite any soldier who wants something to compete. The winner walks away with supplies, the loser gets some training and a lesson. Let's see, it'll kill the spirit of camaraderie and increase the number of non-combat injuries, which will be another blow to our supply of healing potions. I can't approve of this plan. So, what do we have? I feel like Arishlize is a little bit too pie in the sky. Wendowags, while I do like the idea of the strongest being the ones that are victorious, George Linda makes a good point. Risk of injury is too high outside of combat, and it could make a bad situation worse. Which leaves us with George Linda's suggestion herself, or Woljif's. Well, let's see what we get if we do. So, the strong becomes stronger, the weak becomes skeleton warriors, I suppose. A warehouse increases finance points income by 100 if it's built next to an inn. Material points income by 1. Okay, that's just too much of a pain in the ass. Fighting pit provides a +1. Oh, this is for an extra building. This really does not matter in the slightest. Market increase finance points income by 20 points. Only one market we built. I think last time I did Voljif's suggestion, so I think I'll trust George Linda in this one. Affirmative. I'll latch onto them and won't let go until they give us everything we need. And I'll organise for new warehouses to be ready for when the supply caravans arrive. Guarded warehouses. Thank you for making the call, Commander. I'll report all further developments directly to you. If we run into anything else that requires your attention, I will immediately convene the council. Ah, the simp. Commander, permission to report. Captain Harmattan salutes you. We're short on soldiers. Any elation from taking Dresden is long gone. We now face the harsh reality of a drawn-out war. What was sufficient for an expeditionary force won't cut it for a proper army that needs to hold the territories around Dresden and still advance forward. Now that we've dealt with the wary and replenished our officers' corps, we need more troops. I suggest we write a letter to Mendev and ask Her Majesty for a new draft. From Galfrey, she's a useless cow. It'll take some time, everything does with her. A long time, to be perfectly honest, but it's the most reliable option we have. Mendev's already giving everything it can spare to this war. I say we ask our priests to be more active with their preaching in other lands. Let them inspire more people to volunteer. A regular draft may not be enough. We have one permanently in effect as it is. We should suggest that the Crown recruit all who lost everything in the attack on Canabris and other cities. Instead of meager state-issued meals for these orphans and homeless refugees, they'll get army rations, a pair of boots and a spear. It's not the best solution for them, and they won't be the best soldiers for us. Still, we'll have plenty of material to sift through and forge into solid combatants. Manion. How you doing, bud? You won't get far on sheer enthusiasm. Fortunately, we have good coin to dress it up. Everyone who's ready to fight for the lofty ideals is already here. It's time to call on those who would fight for gold. He always wants to pay his way out of this. Hey, Mythics. Good to see you, man. Not too bad. Just tired, so I was heading to bed, but wanted to say... Oh, you wanted to stop by beforehand? I appreciate it, man. Hi. What about the troublemakers from the Wary? Do they criticize us still? Negative. Ever since you took those measures, we haven't heard a word from them. After your changes within the officers' ranks, the command staff is showing nothing but loyalty. Good. So let's discuss our options in further detail. Let's get the Simp's opinion out of the way. So Harbiton says, for situations like this, we have direct instructions from the Queen. May her reign last forevermore. Jesus Christ. We would write to Nerosian and ask Her Majesty to announce a new draft in order to send reinforcements. Of course, the plan will require time, but there's no question that it will deliver results. What do you think about my vote, a gnome warlock? I don't know who... It doesn't tell me who's voted what, but... It's down to you guys, so I kind of left it open to you. I'll probably run it until likely the end of the month, and get that character kind of ready in my head. There's no telling how many more recruits the Queen can scrape together through a regular draft. Mendev has already given us the best and most enthusiastic. It's time for the rest to do their part. David, Mr. I will buy our way to success. My advice is simple, don't be stingy. We're practically asking people to jump into a demon's gullet. Sure, there are kooks who would do that just for some high ideals, and there are those who can be coerced by force. Nevertheless, mortals have yet to invent a better incentive than a shiny coin. If we offer the volunteers sufficiently high pay, they'll sign up in droves. We can't rely on the loyalty of mercenaries. They're eager to come and fill their pockets, but they're just as eager to abandon us once they are faced with real danger. I've seen it happen time and again. We need true soldiers, those who can't imagine life outside the army, obey without a second thought, and if necessary, die without regret. Sounds like my undead legion. You're offering them to Demon's Mouth, maybe they should get what they want beforehand. Assuming they don't turn tail and run. Sela. I'd traverse half the world to join the Crusades, and I'm sure that there are still plenty of souls all over Golarion who would join our ranks. We just need to get through to them. Let's send priests to preach in other states, and not just any priests, but those who've been on the front lines. They'll tell everyone of the horrors they've seen here, and how important it is to fight back against the Abyss. People will volunteer once they see that this is a battle not for Mendev or Sarkoris, but for all of Golarion. Do you truly believe that people learning about what's happening in the World Wound will come running to volunteer? You think too highly of them. Upon hearing this preaching, most people will run in the other direction, as far and as fast as they can. Yeah, Sela's going definitely pie in the sky. Unfortunately, not everyone ascribes to her ideals. His way of thinking wouldn't be that far off of mine. I think many would fall into that category. What about you, Regil? His suggestion is probably the best, or more realistic. At present, Canabras and other cities that withstood assaults are teeming with orphans, the homeless and refugees, survivors who lost all they had. They live off of the crown in tents sustained by handouts. Get them to the front lines. They're not the most optimal manpower pool, as it is unlikely they would have volunteered. But they've nothing to lose, and will gain an influx of recruits as well, as save Mendev from having to waste funds on citizens who provide them with no benefit. So once again, Sela's going to be like, you take advantage of those people's plight in order to bolster our ranks. The poor folks you speak of have suffered tragedy. They should be recovering and restoring their faith in life, not thrown into a demon's maw. Alright, so what do we get? If we go with Sela's, we get the Preacher's Decree. So this would actually increase recruitment, granted by a small amount. If we go with Regil, where you draft the refugees, that offers a far greater growth, but it is a big hit to morale. If you throw money at the problem through Daeron, This is more for mercenary hires. And Captain Sir Simsalot. This one I think is just gated behind time. Yeah, nah. It's one of the worst strategies. Surely the homeless refugees will put up a good fight against the demons. I mean, it depends on which lens you see it through. As Reginald pointed out, they either stay as they are on the street, barely subsiding on what few rations they're getting, or you get them a good set of boots, a decent working spear, and they get actually military rations where they get fed well. Maybe strike back at the heart which got them into that location in the first place. They'll become skeletons. Well, in my undead army, yeah. I mean, they'll fall and just rise again. Yeah. I wouldn't do what Harmerton says. Silas is a little too pie in the sky. And Darren's is a mix of throw money at the problem. And I seldom use hired units, so I'm probably going to do Regils. Very well, I'll see to the plan's execution at once. Thank you, Commander. I'll report on the measures we implement and their results in due time. I'll call for the Council to be reconvened if we encounter any further difficulties. Oh, I believe we will. Ah, look who it is. She who should have died a long time ago. Commander, the capital needs you to take decisive action. Sure. I'll be happy to cut your head off. There's been a major scandal. The nation of Anderon, our diplomatic partner, has sent its army to help the crusade. We need every able set of hands. What's the problem? However, this apparently generous gesture is nothing more than political provocation. The Andorrans noticed that the emerging rapprochement between Mendev and Cheliax had been jeopardized. They wish to widen the divide between Nerosian and Agorian, and so they have deliberately sent their army to our territory without our approval. If Mendev accepts this help, it will cool our relations with Isgir and their suzerain, which in this case is Cheliax. The Royal Council, common that is to say, expects you to reject Andorran aid, so that basically means I'll accept it. Direct them towards Her Majesty's court. They're welcome to negotiate with the capital. When I saw him say that he would throw coin at them, I thought he meant as like a last thing to increase morale across your army. I thought recruitment was just a given, but hey ho, that's what the game offers. Yeah, just like more mercenary units to hire. Unfortunately, we can't disregard the decision made by Her Majesty and her council. Yes, we can. It's my fucking crusade. Social pauses, then suddenly gives you a sly smile. But those Andorrans didn't come here empty-handed. They brought weapons and supplies. Let them share those with us, since Nerosian forbids them from joining our army. To which Darren says, come now, Lady Konami. All this suspicion. I'm sure that the Andorrans are driven by nothing more than benevolence and concern for our collective future. We simply must accept them like dear friends. If the whole deal is about them being Andorrans, they should just stop being them. That is the most forehead comment I've ever heard. Take down the banners, call themselves mercenaries, problem solved. They hate us because they hate us. Fuck the Queen, she does nothing but slowly lose ground on a status quo for how long? Honestly, right, up until I've taken control after the situation in Dresden, not heard a single peep out of her. Achieved in a matter of months what she wasn't able to do for Lord knows how many centuries. And the other reason that things haven't gone apace is because the help that has been sent to assist me have been constantly trying to hamstring me, or at least dangling their aid in exchange for favours. They're like, you know, the capital wants you to do this, but if you don't, you know, you might find some issue with your supply lines. I'm like, look, I have a crusade to fight. Either give the supplies or kind of go fuck yourself. So what's the gist of the political conflict? Let's see, Isgir is a protectorate of Cheliax, and Andorran and Cheliax have a long history of feuds. For the Andorrans, the highest values are freedom and equality, and for the Chelaxians is order and hierarchy. It's as if the two countries were made to be at odds. The fact that they're both allied with Mendev doesn't stop them from settling scores at any opportunity. For the time being, Nerosian considers it more advantageous to cooperate with Agorian, the capital of Cheliax. No one is cutting ties with Andorran, no. It's just that the relations have cooled somewhat. It's a common occurrence in the politics of major powers. I love this. Now she's calling me out. When you ruined the carefully devised deal with Isker, Cheliax's protectorate, and did not call for their help, you sent a message to Andorran. The alliance with Agorian is not as strong as before. Act now. As a result, they have resorted to a provocation. Either Nerosian accepts their forces, thus aggravating Cheliax even further, or risks a diplomatic row. Let's see what the council has to say. Hopefully the advice you're about to hear won't lead to an undesirable war. Yeah, quite me. Hopefully you will learn to shut the fuck up until your opinion is asked of. How about that? Every single time she has to make some sort of a quip or a veiled comment that is, do what we say, or things will end badly. I mean, thus far I've been crushing it. Let's get Little Miss Fuckstick's opinion out of the way. Why should I refuse Andorran's help? First, because it is the wish of the capital. Lady Economy falls silent for a few moments, letting the weight of her argument sink in. What argument? It's the same fucking threat she's been dangling. It's what the capital wants. It's what the capital wants. That's not an argument. Secondly, you do understand that the situation is larger and more complex than what you can see from Dresden. Oh great, insult the intelligence of your interlocutor. It would be inconvenient for us to quarrel with Cheliax at the moment, and Andorran is pushing us to do exactly that. I can promise you that Mendev will compensate you for your losses. Bribery. We are guided not by consideration of our own benefit, doubt, but of the good of your army and the entire crusade. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Nuh-uh, no dice. When they give you something, you take it, especially freebies. Don't bother feeding us that garbage about compensating us later. The authorities do it whenever it's fleecing time, and then what? The people get nothing back. Compensating my tail. Exactly. Fuck 'em. Let's see. Home for a short while before I gotta go to the dentist. You're not missing too much, dude. It's all good. But if you get a chance to swing on by all means. Should be here. I had 4 meetings this morning, 3 more this afternoon. Feel like $1,000,000 for some reason. I was about to say because it's the start of the week, but it isn't. It's a Friday. Maybe it's because of the end of the week. Vera, Ziz, and Raw Mountain went and played mini golf, and Raw Mountain won. She said it was surprising. In my head, I'm thinking, is it really that surprising? You don't control anything with a keyboard and mouse, so most likely a free win. Yeah, I heard Ziz's start to the trip to Auckland did not go very swimmingly. Apparently they lost their luggage. Hopefully they find that. It's a fucking nightmare, that. How the fuck do you lose luggage? Idiots. Apparently it's a common occurrence. I was baffled. Then the Airbnb down and upload is 6 MB. That's pretty much what freaking British Telecom gave, the upload. So Seal, what do you propose? I come from Andorran myself, and as Shaylin is my witness, I wish I could offer another solution. But we've sworn an oath to Her Majesty. If Nerosian doesn't wish to see Andorran troops in Dresden, we have no right to invite them. But no one can forbid us from accepting their help in the form of weapons and supplies. After all, this war is not just some political conflict. This is a battle for the fate of Galarian. Everyone is entitled to do their part. What touching bashfulness. You're proposing we behave like the daughter of a noble family who wants to give herself to a dashing bard but keep her maiden honour. If I could high-five you right now, I would, pal. What about you, Woljif? I know a guy or two with connections in the Merc circles. A bit creepy, but they keep their word. It'll take 5 minutes for them to turn an Andorran army into a mercenary company. They'll dig up some distinguished name of some currently retired group, fix you up with the banners and the uniforms, and record the company's arrival in the books of the local mercenary guild. Even the fussiest clerk won't realise that they're not well-respected dogs of war, but a detachment of Andorran regulars. And just like that, under neutral banners, we've accepted our new friends into our army. Clever, it is pretty clever. Sociel and Woljif are the two that are giving options where you do accept aid, but not openly. Socials is you take the supplies and weapons, but not the soldiers, whereas Woljif is to have them kind of Trojan horsed into your own forces. Woljif is very creative, I'll give him props for that. How about you, Darren? Are you sure we should accept Andorran's help? Does it become us to reject the aid of our valiant allies who are on their way here to share the burden of this holy war? God, I can feel the sarcasm from here. I sense the sins of pride, envy, and yes, a whiff of covetousness too, coming from the direction of Nerosian. But there can be no place for sin on our crusade. God, says the guy who's probably violated every 7 deadly sin. Lady Economy shudders pointedly. Don't forget about the sin of slander, Count. Enough tomfoolery. Your jests will lead to a diplomatic disaster. Yeah, and I'm heavily leaning on doing that just to spite Economy. Perhaps. Perhaps not. One thing I can say for sure, this was a bold move by Andorran. They're willing to invest much in this cause. Our cause. I see no reason to refuse. I never was fond of Cheliacs anyways. I don't like their practices, or their wine. Right, I have no more questions. In that case, I hope you'll make the correct decision. You know, the correct decision, the implication. She, for someone who's supposed to be an expert in political discourse, she definitely knows how to always say the wrong thing at the wrong time. So if we go with Social, we get some finance points, footman, champion, nah. Darren, I mean, come on, look at this. Look at these hedge knights, hell yeah. If you go with Woljif, you got hedge knights and apparently attracted by fame, which gives you buffs, and little Miss Foxstick over here. Amazingly, right, the marksman would have been sought after, but I'm doing an undead army. I'm gonna, for the sake of it, just to piss her off, right? I think last time I did Woljifs, I'm gonna go with Darren. To fully embrace and accept it, to completely collapse what Nerosian has been trying to do, just to fuck with them. We'll accept Andorran's help. Economy's going to be like, you know, you do not understand the diplomatic ramifications, blah blah blah. There we go. Commander, you've already demonstrated your defiance of the Royal Council. Good. It means you're paying attention. Do not cross the line that separates defiance from an open attack on Mendiv's interests. The Royal Council will not forgive you for it. I was going to say, is that a threat? Merely a warning. Your actions, on the other hand, are indeed threatening to Mendev. Her Majesty has entrusted her kingdom to the Royal Council. Yet, the Council's the problem. It's the reason why you guys didn't fuck all for several centuries. It is their duty to oppose those who hurt her interests. By turning them against you, you leave them no choice but to start hurting you. You've been doing that from the very beginning. But you've been far more cloak and dagger about it. Now I'll be like, yeah, sure, you want to undermine the crusade? Sure. Do it to the point where the demons best the crusade and are tearing you limb from limb. The decision's been made and is final. Let's see, Lady Economy's hand twitches in frustration. There'll be consequences, severe and unpleasant consequences. Oh, how diplomatic of you. It'll be virtuous, and what was it that dull priest used to say? Upright. Every pure soul has the right to be pushing up daisies for Galarian. Not to mention the Andorran cavalry has the best horses, and I've been thinking about purchasing a stallion. That'll be all. I hope you're all pleased with the work of the Diplomatic Council. I doubt that the capital will henceforth be inclined to involve you in matters of politics, Commander. You may give your demon war your undivided attention. Thanks! Because thus far, every single person that Galfrey has sent has tried to undermine it. You've got... I mean, Social's useless. Nora was basically a traitor. Harmatton is working at all odds to try and undermine your rule. Economy's trying to insert Nerosian's dick into your crusade. Basically, all of the assistance that Galfrey's given is either incompetent, useless, or freaking downright rhubarbed idiots. It's not a cliff high enough that I would throw them off of. There will be consequences. Gums keep flapping, but hardly anything is being said. Let's see, that's the Bastion completed, so we can expand the touched one. I do kind of like that all of Cornemy's advice is shit. It at least tracks that this is why the Crusade hasn't budged in ages. You know what the funny thing as well is, Ash? If you decide to placate Galfrey, the Council, and Erosian, it leads to one of the worst outcomes for that specific part of the Crusade. Is what I've been told. I always never would side with her because she's just so infuriating. Let's see, an odd and somewhat touched priest has sought an audience. In a dream he saw himself eradicate the world wound, and he's convinced that it was an omen. With the help of the relics he borrowed from his temple, he was able to make the arduous journey to Dresden. And now he's asking the commander to keep them safe while he is away on his quest to fight evil. Oh, okay. If we let him go, we get Relics of the Blessed One, which is a holy disruption mace. If we convince him this thing is doomed, we get a bonus to our income. If we convince him to join the army, ooh, that is quite nice because it's a +1 to the level. The infirmary can handle more. Yeah, I'd say objectively convince him to join. Arushale was able to convince the priest that he had interpreted the dream wrong. His mission was indeed to travel to the world wound and fight it, but he read the metaphor of closing the wound too literally. His true purpose is not to bear this burden solely on his own shoulders, but to join the crusade and do his part in achieving victory over the demons by, for example, serving as a healer. I suppose that's about as good of a conclusion this poor sap could have hoped for. Politics prevent wars, that's why they're not there to win them, they're there to stop before they happen. Or in my case, stall. Hey bird, how you doing, bud? Death redeems all. Oh, this is the repeatable one. Yeah, no one gives a shit about that one. Command. We already ran this one before. Relics. Ah, yeah, we should probably do that. The Sword of Valor, the great relic of the Crusades, mysteriously changed upon coming into contact with the commander. Analyze it for more details. Right. I believe my army is chilling here. I sent them pretty far out. Oh no, actually we're in the process of being assaulted by these bastards. Alright, that takes care of most of the NPC dialogue, as well as getting to the second leg of the Crusader army's journey. Step 2, I'm going to very quickly check everyone's spell books. I think I've already set mine. Sorcerer, Lich. Yep. Steve is more of the bardic persuasion. Mr. Useless. Excuse me. Can't say I'm very keen on any of those. I guess I can do a Sacred Nimbus. 6 is a new slot of things. Okay, that takes care of him. You're a spontaneous caster. These are not nearly as useful as they used to be. Go to Fox's Cutting instead. Do you check Dave the Diver? No. Heard of it. Was quite taken aback by the positive reviews that it got. So I know like snippets of it, but haven't looked into it too much. But yeah, it got brought up in chat a few times, so it has run across my proverbial desk. Seal I don't believe has much that requires my attention. These are all like spontaneous casted spells. Rochelet. I've set hers. You're fine. Virgil doesn't really have anything he can invoke. Stone Tan. Yeah, I knew you had one extra. Go with that one. Although honestly, man, for the sake of patching yourself up, go with that one. Sure. You can try and patch our poor carcass up. Okay, so that's basically everyone's spell books and individual slots updated. Because like, what's your goddamn fever dream sometimes? A good one though. I heard fishing was involved, which is always a big plus. Alright.
Good night, Arushale. I hope you have a dream tonight. Any dream.
How much? She's tucking herself in? That's adorable. Alright, we are fully healed, rested. I believe everyone's points have been allocated. It's only their toolbars that'll need to have adjustments. What is this linking? Gee, freaking brick top. A righteous. What was it again? Was it a righteous infliction of indignation manifested by an appropriate agent, personified in this case by an horrible cunt? Might. Wait, what is the price of knowledge? Oh yeah, I should probably get out of the way. Yeah. In fact, I can do that quest right off the bat. Hey, Crack. How you doing, bud? So the person I'm looking for is somewhere here. George Linda, exotic weapons, Psy, Konami, CR, Horcus, One-Eyed Devil. Ah, there she is, Nistra. Yeah, we've met this NPC. When I went past Wintersun, I remembered there was a Necromancer, Lich and Mythic Path option, but in the previous two campaigns I couldn't invoke them because, well, I was not on it, Remains. I think I saw a pair of my skeletal archers just run past. Doing well. Happy Friday. Right back at you. Hope the same for you and your fam. We're managing for the most part. Appreciate you asking. Bed gets here tomorrow, which means tired because building, but I get to try my new mattress too. I hope it's a big improvement of its predecessor. The knight is holding a slate tablet in her hands. It is covered in occult symbols and diagrams. You're not sure what she is calculating, but she's clearly not getting the answer she wants. She mutters curses under her breath, wiping off some of the symbols and writing them anew in chalk. Looking up from her calculations, Nistra Flamefinger notices you and sits up ramrod straight. Greetings to you, Commando. Why did they call you Nistra Flamefinger? Nistra smiles. She obviously enjoys answering this question. She holds up her hand and flame sparks to life at her fingertips. I'm a mage. I do not conduct my experiments in a laboratory, but on the field of battle. That is why the Queen appointed me to lead the Order in this time of war. Tell me more about your Order. Wish I had access to a DIY place. I'd really want to build a desk and a proper bed. Assuming you did, How experienced are you when it comes to working with wood? My Crusader orders rely on a bastion of steel and blessings from above. We reject neither. But our primary weapon is magic. Mystic spellcasters and researchers of the supernatural gather under our banner. So as I understand it, you and Mjolnir weren't on the best of terms. Whatever terms Sister Mjolnir and I may have been on has no bearing on this matter. She was always a brilliant scientist, a mediocre knight, and an utterly lackluster leader. The Order's successes, or rather the lack thereof, during her leadership speak for themselves, as does her outrageous absconding from Canabris. A lot of big words. I found Mjolnir. She's on a cliff near Wintersun. She's studying the runes on the bark of a petrified tree. She doesn't look entirely healthy. Mystra's eyes narrow. So, she's alive, well, and absorbed in her research. As I thought, I'll set off immediately to arrest her for desertion, and I also request your presence. Well, we'll work around that. Hey, Skyhawk. Greetings to you as well, Mr. Hara. How am I enjoying the run? It's been a lot of fun playing as a Lich.
Focus on the
I haven't fully ascended to Lichdom, but we're definitely laying much of the groundwork. We are sitting at level 12 right now, and we've gotten the first 4 of
Watch out for trouble.
the mythic points. Alright, so we're gonna have these folks head out. I think I'm pretty much going to keep this party composition. We're not looking to do the dragon hunt just yet, so we'll stick with this. Okay, we have some potential recruits. Want them. That's a lot of random assets. Throw away. Is there enough room to accommodate these idiots? What am I going to do? And these two are yeah, until I can actually get them regularly in the army, it does not seem worth the hassle. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep the army size contained. You guys are taking up a run. Alright, we'll stick with these guys. Right. So I believe we have enemies that are on the approach. They're probably going to head for the Gloomy Gorge, so I'll just set them out there to intercept. Gotta go, Smith, and face the dentist drills. Be back later. Should still be on. I'm sure things will go perfectly fine. We'll see you before long. Let me get on my feet. As this hour is drawing to a close. Sorry to hear that, Lord. Everything okay? I mean, if it's ER, I'm guessing it must have been an emergency. What the hell happened? She was in the ER all day yesterday. I'm going on the wiser. Wait, so you're actually not sure why she's there? Is it more that you not had a chance to speak to her, or that the doctors have not been able to confirm what's happened? Oh, she hasn't told you? That's infuriatingly unhelpful, isn't it? The kidney got inflamed. Jesus. Ah, see, that makes a lot more sense. So it's a lot more difficult to stay in the loop being abroad. Right, so we've set them to task. I need to fix their toolbars because we did a few little tweaks hither and thither. That's just for free agents. The bloody trail will eventually... Oh, we gotta rescue Ember as well, don't we? God damn it, there's a few things to do. Right now, though, I have a greater interest in going to Winter Sun. If we teleport... It's just south of here, really. Yeah, it'll take us the better part of the day to get there, but we should be able to. Helping Land to resolve his mommy issue. Oh, he's a fucking prick, man. Okay, we'll rest on the outskirts. And then we'll mush in. War on the surface is not like skirmishes among the cave tribes, but I will achieve perfection in this arena as well. Well, it's a bit different, you know? Much larger arena. War is both a science and an art. To master both aspects, you need a disciplined mind. Until you acquire that discipline, you will understand nothing of war. Look at him taking on the role of like a mentorship. Easy enough DCs to pass. Alright, let's Alright, we are back in this hellscape again. Wonder if the average Nether will get old enough to see the old chickens as adults. I know Landstorm isn't one. In their average lifespans, I think it's barely, what, 20 years or something like that?
Never stop learning.
Yeah, it definitely needs fixing. Holy shit. It definitely needs a fixing. So, spells I would use... Away with you. Feather Step, I don't really care for the touch of gracelessness. Definitely Mirror Image to keep yourself alive. I don't think I worry too much about heroism. Haste, absolutely. I'll be focusing predominantly on the buffs and then freedom of movement. I mean, that. The rest I don't really care about. There is the Dirge. We can toggle that one on and off. That generally makes sure that Steve's doing alright. Yours are already fine. I believe Staunton's okay.
Tell me, and I'll do it.
Regal's okay.
I'll prove I'm the best.
Get rid of that. What do we do? Got to be double check. Does that work for rage attacks? Close and dirty, you can put some attack on 3 caster levels. Actually, you could use that. You have the technology. And then this for emergencies. Okay, so you're also alright.
I shall not be swayed from my path.
Oh, this definitely needs a fixing.
You are mad, Exile.
Thank you for the
Mad!
biddies,
And I
Erics.
love it.
Why was the Lich's wife's neck covered in hickeys? He was a necromancer.
I think I've heard some variation of that. Pretty sure. I think I've heard of that one. But yeah, thank you for the biddies. Let's see, we got the aspect of...
I crave Please your command.
Allow me.
Yep. Trying to think of the order of these. Keep the size buffs over here. Actually, a bit further. That one I'm generally more happy with. Okay, so now the toolbars are mostly how they should be ordered.
Good.
Cool. Let's collapse that in, and then we go over to here. Nice. You said tired, man. Hope you're okay. I'm not good, but I'm managing. But thank you again for the biddies. Why am I missing an item here? Did I not lose something here? Probably left an item over here. Oh, you know what? It's probably stuff I dropped before I left, like because it's just way too much. So we need to go there. Yeah, there we go. So we saw the NPC here when we arrived previously, but you're not really able to like proceed. Not until you return back to the capital.
Keep your calm.
I don't think we're going to end up having a tussle, but we'll see. Now, is that spirit already waiting, or does that happen later? I think it happens. There we go, yeah. I think it happens right about now. Let's see. Sister Miamir, as I suspected. While everyone thought you dead, you were happy to spit on your vows, your comrades, and the crusade, all for the sake of satisfying your own curiosity. You're a stain on our movement, and you are hereby arrested for desertion. And she just rambles incoherently. Take shelter in the briars, lay thistles under your head, bitter, bitter wolfberries. Quit acting the fool. You'll come with me willingly, or else I'll force you. A barely discernible whisper touches your mind. It sounds like the rustling of sand on ice. She belongs to this place, mortal. She will stay here. You will not save her. Leave her or kill her, and go on your way, or else you will stay in her place. A lot of big words for something which is incorporeal. Let's see, who's there? Come out and show yourself. There they are. You desire to know who I am. I will allow it, but this knowledge is not without a cost. Oh no. A terrible figure, a petrified skeleton with branching horns, seems to grow out of the ground in front of you. Mortals, be gone from this place. She is mine. Leave it to me. Who the fuck are you? What's this? Siabre? The sound of the word feels like ice in your ear, like you've just laid your head on a frozen tombstone. I was a druid in old Sarkoris, long, long ago, before the surviving magic users brought disaster upon themselves. While this land was alive, I protected it with my life. When the time came for it to die, I followed it into death. The smooth gleaming white stones in the skull's eye sockets are fixed on the petrified tree. Our forest held secrets, ancient sacred truths. The demons brought fire. Flesh and wood burn as well as each other. But stone does not burn. We turned our trees to stone and stood next to them as stone guardians. So, Rigel, you chose to stand guard at any cost, despite the fact that you must be destroyed. Your loyalty warrants respect. If all Sarkorians were like you, I'd be fighting a much different war right now. Good, you understand us because you are the same as us. You also have stone inside, in the place where others have a heart. That is good. Getting praise from an undead spirit. Nice. Why do you say that Miamir belongs to this place? The insolent, foolish mortal came here seeking the secrets of the old forests. Well, I allowed her to glimpse them, but these secrets come at a cost. To preserve them, to escape the fire into the embrace of stone, we paid with our lives and souls. It is only fair that she should pay the same price. So I can finally invoke this option, which was denied to me. Requires Lich Mythic Path. Swallow the Siabre's soul. You're mistaken, dead one. It is you who belongs to me. Let's see, emotionless, polished white stones shine in the Siabre's eye sockets, but you think that you can see the monster's horror in the stone's smooth surface as you inexorably reach with an unseen hand towards its soul. The skeleton gives a howl of terror, and the branches of the petrified tree groan in unison. Your body greedily absorbs the tree's power. The hardness of the dead tree, unbent by time, flows into your flesh and bones, suffusing them with unshakable fortitude. When you finish, the dead guardian crumbles into dust. Get out of here. Well, that was easy. Land's dark moans, wind's grey songs. Muttering something indecipherable, Mjolnir drops to her knees before the sea-breeze dust, grasping hands full of it and pouring it from one hand to the other. What a sorry sight. Get up, sister Mjolnir. You must stand trial. Oh, I think she's finally starting to snap out of it. What are the options here? Let's see what she says. What do you think I should do with her? Sane or not, desertion is a crime, but she's in no state to be at the front. Send her to Nerosian and let the Queen herself pass judgment on it. Galfrey! Fucking after what she did with Staunton, I can't even trust her to make the appropriate choice. So we've got the, she's not herself, we'll send her to the rear for healing. Let's see, for the head of an order to be absent themselves without approval is a disgrace. I'm arresting her for... I think last time I went with it, I'm going to kill her. The punishment for desertion is death. I'll carry out her sentence immediately. Harsh but fair. Good. And I cleave her in too. Oh man. Didn't even give me that satisfaction. Yeah, look, free stuff. Demon's Terror. What is this thing? Let's see. I could have sworn I sold one of these before. At one point. Corrosive quarterstaff, eh? Hide armor as high as +4, no less. The Shapeshifter's helmet. That's a new one. This helm grants its wearer a +2 bonus to AC while in wild shape. It also grants 1 additional use of wild shape per day if the wearer has this class ability. I mean, if that happens to be your class and you can wild shape, wear a helmet. I guess there's a +2 and a 2, yeah. I was wondering, I was very eager to see how that would play out. The Necromancer option proving to be pretty potent. I just reached into this thing's soul and raked my skeletal hand right through it. Git. I'll teach you. But there isn't really anything else. I think anyone who needed the good stuff hires the good stuff. Mostly. Wait, what is yours? Rachel? 2, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, they pretty much have the most of the gear that I'm happy with. Well, that ended abruptly, didn't it? We don't really have any further business in Winter Sun. So I think what I need to do now, we need to bring Greyboar with us if we're going to pursue that darn dragon. I'll probably have to leave maybe Staunton behind this time, and then replace that for Greyboar. And then who did I leave behind? I appear to be in combat. Oh, is this the ghost that's angry because I stole the frickin' thingy? Yeah, it is.
I will resist.
I don't know what makes them so annoyed at you. That is remarkably high AC. Yeah, there's something about taking possession of this item, the Brazen Whip, that seems to annoy these chuckle fucks. Baleful Polymorph? That bastard. Fortitude save. He tried to turn me into something. I think a doggo.
They'll beg me to stop.
Retreat is not an option. I'll just have to resort to brute force.
Ah, yeah, the downside of the chest piece. I haven't given us that protection energy, have I?
Prepare yourself.
Ooh, the weather be taking a turn. Man, level drain is probably the most like toxic thing in the entire game. Alright, dodge this, you bastard.
Kneel before me. So it comes to this.
Frick. Oh, thankfully that's only a temporary drain, not a long-term one. Yeah, I forgot like
I'm up for an
how that
adventure.
mechanic works. I think if you dawdle here too long, you'll just keep getting accosted by the prick of it. Yeah, there.
Defend my dream.
It's that damn whip, man. The real kick in the gonads. I don't even think you get any experience for this. What an arsehole.
Desna, guide my hand.
They spawn like right in the middle of us.
You've made your choice. This one's mine.
Make your peace. No match for me.
Christ on a bike. Yeah, man just wants to leave this place. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it's alright, stop being fucking brain dead and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I think it's just because you're in the area. That stupid whip. Okay, so let's have them go back. We will do this, this. Make sure they're mostly rested before they move on. Okay, so we want to go here. I think his gear is not too shabby. I kept it mostly up to date. Give you a slightly better cloak. Give you one of those. Let's see, give you that one. I don't really have any extra pair of braces or anything fancy like that. Generally, he's just looking alright. Could be better, but this will work. Okay, let me just save. So I think we go via this way. And then eventually you're allowed to dip in. Thanks, I guess. I'm at a point just saving gold materials now until next month on Lost Ark. Oh yeah, how have you been like for the new content? I've already done this, so we're going to skip it. Basically, it's a series of skill checks that you need to perform in order to be able to close the distance on where the dragon is, and eventually you'll do a series of checks to scale down a mountain range, hopefully not draw the attention of some flying monsters, and then if things go well, you basically get an opportunity to buff and position yourself before the actual fight with the dragon. If you happen to bork the rolls, not only do you trigger the fight by dropping right in front of it, but you have also suffered some loss of attributes as well. So I'll ask Greyboard to handle that one. So now you would go in the direction of the Artisan's Tower. So this is the event that triggers. So like I said, I've already done this one. I think last time we did, we'll go this way. We will have Arushalite guide us through that, so that's easily done. And then it's down to athletics. Both is the same. Just go. And I think this is the most crucial one, where you drop in front of the dragon. So yeah, much better stats this time to do the skill check. So before I just landed right in front of him, and the storyteller is like just stood there. They're in the middle of having like a conversation. So now we can more readily approach our quarry. I think we run this way. Yeah, we go like partially in the tower. Till eventually it's time to party. Yeah, so he's trying to distract him. I think he's trying to keep the dragon's attention through the art of storytelling. Let's try to get as close as we can to the dragon without making any noise, then we'll take it by surprise. We've crept up on the toothy old lizard without her noticing us. It's a pleasure to work with real professionals. Let's get a little closer so we can attack when she least expects it. Would have liked to have buffed myself before I did that. The dragon looms over an old elf, her vicious teeth bared in an angry snarl. You recognize his face. He is called the Storyteller. I know you're in league with those little parasites who wounded me. They sent you to spy on me. They thought I wouldn't crave the crunch of your old bones. They were wrong. I've always had a special liking for the taste of elven flesh, but I do love to play with my food. What can you offer me in exchange for your pathetic life? Perhaps I won't kill you if you manage to impress me. The Storyteller is pale as a ghost, but he stands strong and doesn't lose his nerve, though his voice trembles slightly as he speaks. A story. Stories are all I have, but some of them are priceless, more valuable than any treasure. This I can offer you in payment. Can we not buff ourselves before all this kicks off? Greybow, what are we doing? The dwarf looks at you excitedly. Let's wait for the right moment to attack. This old man is distracting the monster, and we can use it to our advantage. He's one tough old fellow. Anyone else would have been shitting bricks by now. Maybe it's because he's blind. He just can't see the intimidating size of her teeth. Okay. So let's see. Stay quiet and wait. Wait, can we do that? Move away from the dragon stealthily. Okay, good. And then we can do that. Thank fuck for that. Kinda sort of wanted to be able to buff our team up
Does
before we go in
anyone
there.
require my counsel?
This will take a while to fire, won't it?
Keep your wits about you.
Now, Eya, Orama. Now, Eya, Orama.
I think I'll probably have Steve end up doing that. Oh, and this is the one that gives us that sweet health.
You require my counsel? Wise.
Where is the buff mod? I don't have it. I trust you can make peace with this.
Only you deserve my
Pretty.
Okay.
The struggles never cease.
Inimos tradisi, inimos tradisi, ba rite, lisono dani. Magritium turinos.
How's the build feeling? I haven't really tried it. We're just about to face off against the dragon that we've been pursuing.
You know what you're doing. Good.
I reckon that's about as much as I can muster. I'll have Steve give us haste, and then we're pretty much great. Shouldn't this be active? No, not point blank. That one. Wait, why do you have 2 instances of point blank? Right, I see.
I will. Where do you want me?
Okay. So now, is the formation correct? Not exactly.
I need to concentrate.
I'm amazed that that's not regarded as, you know, I can charge them.
I'll bathe in your blood.
Oh, you little bastard. Let's see how the fight goes now. Let's see, your armor class is as catastrophically high as I remember it being. 36. Jesus. We're still gonna have to roll pretty damn high to land our blows.
I will resist.
Let's see if we can scatter us a little bit. Because of the new build, you lost the full attack on charge for a few levels. Yeah, we need that greater beast totem. It's okay if it's for a little while. We'll make do without. Motherfucker at least felt that one. Alright, we're officially in the rotation. You'll get it next time you get to pick rage powers. I'm not sure how far that's away, but I can be patient.
Prepare yourself.
Delamere doing that damage, man. I'm level 12 at the moment.
I'll rip you apart.
8 attacks. Ah, bye. Didn't even give it a turn this time. Where the fuck you going? Don't let the dragon get off the ground. She'll set everything on fire. Yeah, she even attack. Is she gonna go for like one final barrage? Wait a second. She's supposed to do that. I guess she tries to set things ablaze. Can I even get to her in time? She's all the way there. She's practically on death's door. There we go. Got to her before she could open her maw. I think our speed came in pretty clutch. It's next level for the Greater Beast Totem. Yeah, then I'll pretty much have my full power again. So that's... Do you see the difference that made compared to the last fight? So we were 2 levels lower, 1 mythic point down, inferior gear, and balked most of the skill checks, so the fight was south very quickly. So this time I was able to do preparation and then make very short work of them. Greybow looks with satisfaction at the surrounding carnage. It's a job well done. You can use her head to decorate your tent. I'm going back to Dresden. It's been a pleasure working with you. Honestly, I just realised I don't really care for his quest. I'll just say safe travels. Good luck. If you'd like to hire me again, you'll find me in Dresden. But I won't be there for long. I'll likely have to leave as soon as I get my next assignment. Alright, and he scarpers off at the speed of Mach 10 because of the haste spell.
The fatigue befalls even the best.
I feel this fight is still way too strong for how early you can face it. Definitely. If you do it like the moment it's available, you're gonna struggle. Very much so. That's where the other side is. I was wondering where... I forgot when you got this one. But yeah, whenever 2 creatures wearing different halves of this pendant are within 10 feet distance to each other, each gets a +2 circumstance bonus on attack rolls and AC. So the difference this time was the dragon was unable to unleash the attack, so I'm not sure what I gain by having gotten it so quick.
I finished here. Is there more?
I'm amazed you passed that skill check. Jesus. Though this magic trap is now old and dysfunctional after centuries of disuse, it would once have irreversibly blinded any thief who gazed upon it. Ah, sneaky. Very sneaky.
Please forgive me.
Ooh. Wait, this is more of a traditional chest. What the fuck? Okay. Not sure why that's here, but you know, I'll take it.
I will guide.
But yeah, that dragon was way easier now that we returned here with more at our disposal. Ah, there's a storyteller. What up, boy? Please search the bookshelves. Bring me anything written in ancient elven runes. Oh, we can't even fucking discuss anything with them until you've proceeded. I do believe there's actually more in this region. Within the pedestal, a faint purple glow emanates from a crystal-shaped hole. Its edges are chipped and cracked, suggesting that whatever it contained has been forcibly removed. This dragon was busy, clearly. Ah, there's one of the elven notes. So that one was not burnt down. Bless him. Got this thing over here. Some more scrolls. That can come in handy in its own way, I suppose. I think there is another encounter further down below. Seem to recall plant-like enemies. So this is all the stuff that would have burnt last time. It's just scrolls mainly.
Watch out for trouble.
That seems to be the only extra thing, so that's not crazy. Yeah. I wonder if I suspect the elven pages probably would have survived the fire breath that the dragon unleashes. Yeah, it's just extra scrolls, and then you got this little shindig down here. I forgot that's where you get the braces. Yeah, what was weird was yeah, the braces of abrupt onslaught. So you got a +5 competence bonus on trickery skill checks, and whenever you make a sneak attack, it deals 1d6 bludgeoning. The one that'll do it most consistently is actually Delamere right now, but she already has hers. Arusha can gain sneak attacks by doing the sense vials, so I think it'd probably suit her the best. But I'm pretty sure that there's an encounter down here. I'm quite sure. Definitely picturing something plant-like, at least that's what my brain is trying to remind me of. The sound Delamere makes when she finds something is brilliant. These guys are supposed to come to life, or something.
I sense some pixie to rust
there
for
it is.
them.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah, remember these guys being assholes, I don't know why. Silent Mandragoras. That damn chest piece of mine. Yeah, that about looks right. They're insanely high armor class.
Retreat is not an option.
Oh, great. Another one of these dipshits. Never change. These guys did not need... What is it with this game and this stupid high AC?
Desna, guide my hand.
No fear! That will serve as an example.
They'll beg me to stop.
Reg is going to take a bit of a spanking.
Kneel before me.
Yeah, it's the downside of one of the undead thralls. They just grunt like that. You can even hear her exhaling in the background.
Make your peace.
I'll just have to resort to brute force!
There's one of them down at least.
This one's mine!
And then there was one.
I will resist. No match for me.
Hold, Reginald!
Press the attack!
Fatigue befalls even the best.
Yeah, I realise how much I hate these things. When they surprised my original party, I found these guys but technically these are more challenging than the dragon was. Which is kind of funny when you
Keep
think
your
about
calm.
it. I was like, damn, why do these things have such stupidly high AC? Makes you wonder what this freaking dragon was growing here. Those are some very powerful animated turnips you were fighting. I think that's about it. Oh, hang on. Something I discovered for a second. And rubbish. Yeah, it's not much.
There are many roads to
A
success.
few little tidbits of extra loots. It goes to like the base of the tower and then it just, well, for lack of a better term, concludes. Probably missed something there though. I love how the minimap is your savior in this. Ah, there's an extra door there. Can see that. There is that a rod of some kind? It's a lesser kineticist rod. Again, for how early you can get here, they're so unbalanced. Yeah, but this party was fine. Once again, if I'd gone here, if by some miracle I had a party at level 10 that made short work of that dragon, this fight would have been horrible. 3 enemies with an AC of 37, and they do pretty good damage. This rod increases the damage dealt by the Kineticist Simple Energy Blast by 1d6, and by Kineticist Simple Physical Blast by 1d6 plus 1. Composite Energy Blast instead deal an additional 2d6, while the Composite Physical Blast deals additional 2d6 plus 2. I guess if I was a Kineticist I'd be happy with that.
I will guide.
But I'm not, so as such, it is of no use to me. Sounds nice. In August Worm's house in the 2nd floor, any risk of corrupting the game when entering the locked door via dim door? I have no earthly idea.
Focus on the goal.
Sounds like a sequence break you're doing. Is that something that happens like later on? Alright, I believe the Elven page is what the storyteller was after. That's like one of the first things we found. See, the only difference this time is the whole place had burned down. So that's nice. Or not. Have you found what I asked for? Splendid. Let's get out of this place as soon as possible. All this smoke makes it difficult to breathe. We'll meet in Dresden. Also, you don't even like conclude the traditional dialogue. He's like, yeah, I'll just see you back home.
Stop learning. Knowledge is the key to victory.
Wait, that's the Mandragora. Where I'm supposed to go is the opposite side. Just realised. I'm like, hang on, why am I back down here again? I want to go this way. At least I think. I'm not sure if you can even exit there. Actually, I think it's probably that way. Yeah, 'cause I don't think you can exit this way. Oh, no, you can. Okay, cool. I was freaking hesitating there. Right. Save ourselves some time. That room bugged out for me on release and I got the amulet in Act 1 instead of Act 5. Yeah, I heard rumours of this. I think I managed to skip that little hiccup. Arushale, let's see, there's an unusual spring in the succubus's step today and she has a mysterious smile on her lips that you can't recall seeing before. Something truly miraculous happened to me, if only you knew. Let's see here. I used to, and now I'm... No, wait. This doesn't feel right. Look, I shouldn't have barged in like that. We need to talk one-on-one. I'll be waiting for you at the tavern. Yeah, I think she's experiencing what is the first semblance of dreaming.
Keep your calm.
Alright, so let's rest fully before we resume this little shindig. It's so tempting to hone with gold I'm saving. You always regret it afterwards. If you don't care about the quest, you can get a lot of power early on. Well, given that I've already killed Camellia, I probably could have benefited from that, couldn't I? Oh well. Fuck it. Hey, Darkness. The only reason I knew that you would get in that room is because I did it during the beta. Yeah, I mean, by the time I played the game, I think... Yeah, I played its core release.
There are many roads to success.
How is this still active? That buff lasted ages. Wait, what the fuck? 1 rate per level. Pretty sure that we teleported back, and I guess time doesn't progress when you rest like that. Oh, regardless, just a very nice buff to have.
I
Also.
will guide.
Okay, so I suspect the storyteller's probably just chilling outside, isn't he? Why did she run off? What did I miss? Who are you talking about? If you talk about Camellia, she's dead. Caught her in the act of being a complete moron. As for the succubus, Rushale, she wants to have this conversation in a more private-ish setting, not in front of the entire command of the Crusader army. Where is that little shit? He should be here somewhere. Yeah, he's over here. Cool. Actually, I should have spoken to Erebeth to conclude that dragon quest as well. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Ein Zamiro. Have you brought me a new story? Well, let's discuss what happened in the dragon's lair. I'm sure you do. You're wondering how I ended up there, and why I wasn't killed, am I right? Yes, and why'd you go to the tower? I've been looking for a certain tower for several years now, and in that place I had a strange feeling of recognition. It seems that tower once belonged to me a long time ago. Knowing my habits, I assumed that some records or other items that could answer the questions about my past may have remained in my home. Unfortunately, I realized too late that the tower was now the lair of a monster. How come the dragon didn't chomp you? Despite their beastly tempers, dragons are clever creatures, but their way of life does not lend itself to civilized conversations. Which is why they do sometimes enjoy a good chat, and even more a good story. That was what saved me. I had to share a few of my stories with the dragon, hoping to win her over, or at least distract her, which mostly panned out. I too murdered Camellia recently. I just love how Enevia's like, look, I'm not going to name names because I don't want you down a companion, but shit is fucked. Yeah, she does that multiple times. Since, you know, they're part of your retinue, and she doesn't want to do anything that could jeopardize the momentum of the crusade. Did you find anything of value in the tower? Yes. Thanks to you, the dragon didn't have time to burn everything. I found the memories of my previous life, which I'd forgotten long ago. Right. So we've got, let's see, I found it in the Molten Scar. This is the page from the the Vrock. I think that was doing the transforming of people. The storyteller cringes and puts his hand on the bloodstained page. His face contorts into a painful grimace, his voice trembling with fear. No. He is here again. That terrible grating voice. The horrific semblance of a face. The monstrous appearance. I think we're talking about the little swarmy boy. What was it called? Xanthros? Myriad insects forming a body with 2 arms and 2 legs. He touches me and the disgusting creatures attack my flesh, covering me. Oh god. He's being eaten. The Hungarian will devour everything except my eyes and tongue so that I can see this damn page. So that I can translate the runes written in the ancient, long-forgotten elven language. And I translate. It hurts so much. I tried to lie to him. I changed the translation, but he saw through my lie. He got angry. Now I'm not lying. I'm not. He takes one of the insects from my face and squishes it with his fingers over the inkwell. Then he dips the quill in it and writes with my blood right over the runes. And I continue to dictate. Callistria, when will this be over? Let me die, Xanthir. Let me die. The storyteller jerks back his hand, terrified. Yeah, this guy was, a swarm of insects was having him for second breakfast. $107k gold, 2.3, I'm guessing this is mil, honor shards on my arcana. It's so tempting to hone her towards 1580, but I think doing that is a bad idea. I think you already have your answer, since chances are getting more than the already 2 Arcane ruins done first week is going to be rough. Surprised you're still debating this. Let's see, oh god, such horrible torture. This poor man was tortured to decrypt my notes. He was so tormented that his suffering became thick like molasses. My mind is drowning in it. My own memories are hidden by these images of horror. I could try to get through to them, but I'll need your help. Tell me everything you've seen and heard. I'll try to lean on your words to use them as a light in the darkness of my forgotten past. The storyteller takes the blood-stained page carefully, as though handling a dangerous insect. I see a magic shape. There is a force pulsating in the center. You've seen the ritual. Tell me, what was its central point? Its magic knot? Let's see, a dead man. They killed a crusader and conducted the ritual over his corpse. Dead man? I don't understand. I feel something else. A life. A living soul in the eye of the whirlwind. I don't understand how one ritual can tie up the energies of death and the abyss. The currents in the world's ephemera are contradirectional. The storyteller sighs weakly. Forgive me, Commander, I cannot go any further. Everything is vague and unclear, and the screams of the poor lad keep ringing in my ears. What can you do? Page, please! The storyteller carefully takes your find. Yes, you're right. Another piece of evidence from the past I have forgotten. The old elf's expression becomes withdrawn. Thank you. If you find more pages like this, please bring them to me. Maybe by putting them together, I'll be able to lift the veil on the mystery surrounding my story. One more page. Same thing. Looks like he's finally remembered. The storyteller clenches the pages he brought. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. My hand touches the stone wall. The cold pierces my palm like the teeth of a hungry dog, sinking into a piece of meat. I don't take my hand away. I let the stone enjoy my warmth in return for its service. It accepts my caress and my unasked question, the one it's been asked 1,000 upon 1,000 times. Where should I go next? Behind me I hear the loud stomping of the minotaurs that guard this godforsaken place. I tricked and outwitted them, leaving only a trace of my presence. There is darkness lurking up ahead, honing its swords, claws and teeth in the hope that a rare traveller visits its lair, but today it will get no one. This labyrinth is alive. Its red-veined stone walls resemble the guts of a huge creature. If you keep still and listen closely, you can hear it breathing in the wind that sweeps through this place. Where do I go from here? forward, to the place whence the wind carried a faint chuckle, whence comes the faint smell of ash, whence a few ages ago Demon Lord Baphomet began his great escape. So, are you inside his labyrinth? Yes, I'm travelling through the Ivory Labyrinth. This is not the most pleasant of my journeys, but it is necessary to reach my goal. How are you able to evade all the dangers of the Ivory Labyrinth? The storyteller raises his chin proudly. Have you forgotten who you're speaking to? I'm the last Archmage of Kyonin. I've been to many dangerous places, and this is just one of the many. It won't be the last. What do you need from the Ivory Labyrinth? An answer to a question, a key to a secret, knowledge that can save many lives. A sliver of a smile appears on the storyteller's lips. My kinfolk were weaklings and cowards. They ran from the danger, but one stood up to my enemy, and Baphomet will give me the weapon to win. Continue. For several years I have thought about how to defeat Earthfall. My enemy has no flesh and is impossible to kill. It blazes through everything in its path. It doesn't enslave but destroys life itself, and I have found the answer. I know how to save my world. Earthfall came to destroy Golarion. Its strike was brutal, and my world barely withstood it. But what if Earthfall was resisted by not one world, but several worlds at once? What if Heaven or Elysium come to help the dying Golarion? If I manage to merge my world with another one, meld them together, the power of the disaster will weaken. The denizens of Golarion will be able to temporarily take shelter in the adjacent plane. Civilizations will not die. Our culture will continue to exist. It will not be forgotten. Baphomet the cunning and insidious Lord of Minotaurus was once a captive in Asmodeus' prison, but only 10 years passed before Baphomet was able to escape, taking his own prison with him, which later became the Ivory Labyrinth. Such an achievement deserves respect, but it is the goal of my research. Moving matter between planes is what interests me now. I stopped near strange symbols covering the wall of the labyrinth. Atreus, thank you very much for the 52-month resub. Thank you for the tier 3, man. Appreciate it.
Hello gits, hello chat. Also, geology rocks but geography is where it's at.
Very funny, friend. Very funny. Thank you for the resub, man. I hope you are doing well, my friend. We're doing some pathfinding. I think it's a session 12 we're at now. Reunited with an old friend. But yeah, thank you for the resub. So let's see, I stopped near strange symbols covering the wall of the labyrinth. I run my hand over them to ensure they are real. Encrypted riddles drawn by Baphomet during his imprisonment. I take out the bark-covered notebook and painstakingly copy the symbols into it. Behind me, 2 minotaurs are fighting, deceived by the net of spells I have wrapped around myself like a blanket. Let's see, try and stay away from these streams due to me still having to play. Yeah, it's my 3rd campaign, doing it as the Lich. I think we're about halfway through the game. As far as like character level progression goes, we are. Let's see, do you want to connect the planes? It's dangerous. The elf is silent for a moment, and when he talks there is disdain in his voice. Dangerous, difficult, almost impossible. But tell me, is this risk not worth the Thassalon Empire perishing before my eyes? Does Golgan, the Cyclops' kingdom, deserve death? What about the Aboleth Empire? The storyteller moves his lips silently. Another plane will pay for saving Golarion. There will be wars, and then a new world will come. But we will survive. We will defeat Earthfall, and history will not condemn the victors. So, a bark-covered notebook, the one your mentor gave you. The storyteller lowers his head, but a moment later jerks it back up. Yes, blinded by my pride, I tore it to pieces when I thought I would not follow my kinfolk. I'm still not going to run, but the knowledge written in this notebook by my former mentor might serve my purpose. The elves managed to open a portal to Sovereign, and keep it open until all people escaped from Golarion. Their cowardice deserves disdain, but their knowledge is unquestionable. I returned to Kyonin and gathered the pieces of my torn notebook. Now it's my sword aimed at the heart of Earthfall. By combining the wisdom of elves and the cunning of Baphomet, I'll save the world. So what happened next? I copied the strange symbols into the notebook. I haven't the slightest idea what these scribbles mean. What was the future demon lord thinking when he wrote them, while he was imprisoned in a cell with no way out? Was he still in his right mind? I'll need help to understand these notes, otherwise decrypting them might take more time than Pharasma has given me. One of the minotaurs behind me killed the other one, tore his heart out, and devoured it. His blood-stained nose sniffs the air sharply. His bloodshot eyes shift from wall to wall. He senses a stranger, but he doesn't scare me. I am certain of my powers and the spells hiding me. I've done my work and can now leave this place, and still I linger. There's this strange presence I feel behind me, like someone is watching me despite all the protective spells. Who are you? I ask carefully, not hoping for an answer. Darkness. A coy female voice whispers in my ear. I think this is an articulate, I'm pretty sure. Against my will, I shudder. The storyteller stops talking for a long while. The vision ended at the most interesting moment, didn't it? Please find the rest of the pages from this bark-covered book. I must know what happened next. Close to level 13 now. A few quests remain before I head to the Ivory Sanctum. Yeah, we're more or less at a similar point. I'm a little bit further behind level-wise, but I do have some loose ends to tie up. I think this is the same dialogue? Yeah, it just rehashes that. Yeah. Another page. Another. Oh, looks like that was enough. The storyteller clenches the pages you brought. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. It's been 2 years since I started to serve the darkness. She found me in the Ivory Labyrinth, her gaze piercing through all my protective spells as if they'd been cast by an untrained apprentice, rather than the last Archmage of Kyonin. She is powerful and insidious. She is the perfect assassin. Her name is Nocticula. She invited me to Alushanera, the city of demons in the depths of the abyss, the capital of the Midnight Isles. The Lady in Shadow highly values my ability to remain unnoticed. Kneeling before her throne, I listened to her praise and felt like a child being given a pat on the head for doing some simple chore for the first time. But this is no longer important. Now I serve a demon lord, for this is our agreement. She will help me decrypt the scribbles I copied in the Ivory Labyrinth. In return, I will serve as her court mage and spy for her the next 17 years. Now, Alushanera is my home, and Nocticula is my Lady in Shadow. Tell me about your life in Alushanera. Of all the places in the Abyss, Alushanera is the most civilized. Which isn't saying a lot, because it's the Abyss. My lady wants to make her capital the face of the Abyss, a place travellers from other planes can visit without too much fear. I don't care. I'm here only to complete my service, get the promised reward, and return to Golarion. However strange as it may be, Alushanera's demons treat me honourably. They hate me, sometimes growl at me, but they never attack. I prepared many spells, and I'm ready to use them at any moment, but I've had no reason to yet. However, my own tower in the upper city, not far from the lady's palace. I've strengthened it with protective spells and set golems to guard it. I created a portal to Golarion at the top of the tower, one which only I can use. It'll be my escape route if I need to flee urgently. I expect an attack every day, but it never happens. This might sound ridiculous and surprising, but I think the demons in Alushanera respect me. Is it you trusted a demon lord? My Lady in Shadow has no reason to hide the truth from me. She does not care about my research. She offered me help out of curiosity. I am something of a bizarre pet to her, both funny and useful. She offered me help and I agreed. I must thank my lady for her generosity. 17 years of service for translating 17 phrases from Baphomet's Labyrinth. A bargain. The storyteller stays silent for a while as if listening to something. I can't smell anything but sewage. I can hear some demons' snores or death rattles. Hidden by a cocoon of spells, I keep invisible watch in a dirty alley in Illusionera's lower city. 2 winged shadows sweep past overhead, and a terrible stone-splitting shriek rolls like a tide through the streets. But it can't hurt me. I know the ways of this city, and have protected myself from Valexia's wild antics. My voluntary partner, a young elf named Kaini, sighs loudly and says yet again, "They're not coming." I shrug as I have done every time before. "I'm not keeping you." Kaini frowns and turns away in response. I sneak a look at my friend. His unruly locks fall over his face. Kaini carelessly sweeps them out of his eyes, thinking about something. I find myself enjoying his gentle movements and look away embarrassed. Have a little more patience, my friend. Soon our goal will be here. I'm sure of it. You mentioned Valexia. Tell me about her. The storyteller answers with reluctant admiration. The maddest succubus of all those born in the abyss. Even my lady in shadow can't but smile upon hearing of the latest mayhem she stirred up just for fun. Surrounded by her 3 succubi friends known as the Sinners, she flies naked over the city, crushing buildings with her raging screams, grabbing poor passers-by, taking them up in the air and dashing them down onto the rocks, getting into raging fights with no rhyme or reason. Truly, Valexia is the bane of Illusionera, but also its wild heart. Did expect to find you had a partner. I didn't expect it either. Kaini is from Galarian, just as I am. He is a thief and a former slave. He escaped from the Cyclops of the Dying Empire. I met him before I left Galarian for the Abyss in my old tower. A thief who sought not my life, but shelter, a place to spend the night, and protection from his former masters. My charms worked. Kaini couldn't get past the ground floor of the tower. That's where I found him, sitting on the floor entangled in my trap's living vines. I freed the hapless thief. I wasn't angry at his intrusion. I was even glad to talk with this restless youth of the short-lived folk. I had no idea how much I had missed companionship. After that, Kaini often spent the night in my tower, partaking of my hospitality. Together we lived through the terror of Earthfall, and when the time came, I took him with me to the Abyss. Recently, he's even helped me carry out some of my lady's tasks, those that give him the opportunity to make some money. Does your partner know about your goal to save Galarian? Oh yes. We've discussed my plans many times, sitting at the top of the tower, nursing goblets of warmed wine. Kaini shares my love for our dear Galarian, and supports my desire to save its doomed civilizations. My friend is not like me at all. He's young, hot-tempered and mischievous. He prefers to act first and deal with the consequences later. Perhaps this is why we get along so well. Opposites attract. Please continue. Finally, my patience is rewarded. I see a slouching demon in rags, so pathetic that even the demon gods of Illusionera would not lay a hand on him out of disgust. But my spell-enhanced vision can't be fooled. I see the incubus Siforian, the ruler of Illusionera, who answers only to the lady in shadow herself. Bunch of loud fuck knuckles outside, man. You sit down. Hopefully that marauding group of loudmouths will kindly fuck off elsewhere. Why don't you shout like a good old Englishman? Can't be bothered, honestly. Too much effort.
You are mad, exile. Mad! And I
Take a
love
bit of
it.
Biddy's chemical.
Seth, I am sad I referred to the middle part of an insect's body as Stormbreaker, but no one knew what I meant. I'm talking about the thorax.
Thorax. It's kind of wishing it was more hammer related. I'll go with that, I guess. But appreciate the biddies, man. So let's see, Zephorian, ruler of Illusion. Passing a step away from me, Zephorian stumbles and falls into a puddle of sewage, rousing disdainful chuckles from the few witnesses. But I won't be fooled by this game. Instead I concentrate, becoming even more focused. My lord, I've discovered this crystal of unknown power on one of the Midnight Isles. Have a look. A hand holding a heart-sized crystal burning with purple flame emerges from under the rags. The incubus's hand is shaking, the skin on his palm slightly smouldering from touching the crystal. The demon's reflection in the puddle of sewage ripples and changes. I don't hear Zephorian talking to his mysterious lord. The incubus hides the purple crystal back under the rags. As you wish, my lord. No, Nocticular knows nothing about these crystals. I am sure. Of course, Lord Sokoth Benoth. I wince. I have no desire to stand in the way of a demon lord. I turn around. You see, Kaini, we were able to get evidence of Zephorian's treason. I was right. My friend is nowhere to be seen. Who is Sokoth Benoth? The storyteller cringes. A disgusting demon lord, champion of meanness. Interesting. Debauchery, perversions, and breaker of taboos. Oh, I remember this, yeah. He is Nocticula's, this is Kate Kona made manifest, he is Nocticula's brother and former lover. Out of jealousy, he tried in vain to kill my lady, but he remained alive after the attempt. He's driven by fear, shame, and hatred towards his powerful sister. I'm standing at the top of my tower. There is a goblet of warmed wine in my hand. Nocticula was pleased with my raid. Oh no, she won't kill Zephorian on the spot. My lady's punishments are much more sophisticated. Banishing, demotion, even transformation into the pathetic creature the incubus was masquerading as. Nocticula has a lot of choices. I don't care. I've done my part. I sip from my goblet and turn to my friend. Without saying a word, Kaini takes out a rag from under his shirt and shows me the purple crystal wrapped in it. Chuckle. That's where my friend went at the end of the raid. Well, we're going to keep the crystal. I'll study its properties in detail and find out if it will help us achieve our goal. Nocticula doesn't have to know that I have the crystal now. Let her look to Zephorian or her demon lord brother for it. Might be blasting through Rank 3. I only just have the Order of the Flaming Landshark and Dresden. I'm down to Blackwater and Ivory Sanctum. I'm nearly there. There's still a couple of loose threads, but those are the two locations I'm leaving last. I made the mistake in Campaign 1 of going to Blackwater way too soon and getting somewhat locked in. That was not a pleasant experience. Although, by the time I got out from there, it certainly made the rest of my experiences far more pleasant. You do get some good gear in there. I drink from the goblet again and look down. Illusionera lies at the bottom of the tower, like a faithful dog at the feet of its master. I earned respect here. Even the lady in shadow heeds my words. I feel a treacherous smile appear on my lips. Of course, when 17 years have passed, I will return to Golarion, but for now I like my life here. The storyteller is quiet for a long while, thinking about what he saw, then runs his hand over his face, tired. I served a demon lord, and what's more, I liked it. I did not expect this from myself. I was completely different. Different thoughts, desires, motives. What made me change so much? I don't know. Yeah, that's probably one of the quests I might see myself doing next. I think if you do this just re-triggers the story. Yeah, so this just restarts the whole thing. Let's see. Examine the items. So, first one. Now it is just a shard of the past, but I feel its power. The elf carefully strokes Jarendalev's claw. Only a great power can resist the most terrifying of enemies, oneself. Please allow me to immerse myself in this memory and learn the story of the spiritual resurrection of the greatest of silver dragons. The old elf gently touches the crumpled metal of the gauntlets. I sense the souls of the two who were bound to this relic. One was an animal, the other a man, but neither was the master of the other. They were brothers, a most intriguing tale. Do you want to hear it? If you bring me 1 vial of magic essence, 4 bars of cold iron, and 2 vials of demon blood, I can revive this relic to see it to its past. I think I have most of them. The storyteller's fingers run over the piece of old cloak. I sense power. This item belonged to someone truly powerful. It was created as a gift. It's so hazy. I would like to learn this story, but it would take much to revive such a mighty relic. If you can get 5 vials of magic essence, 2 bars of cold iron, 2 vials of demon blood, wow, and apparently 3 skins of a magical creature, I will try to restore it. That's a tricky one to do. Show a piece of Tyrendilev's claw. Tell me Tyrendilev's story to the end. The storyteller hangs his head, looking sickly and tired. How many times has the moon died and been reborn since I've been here? I've lost count. My friends brought me here. They said goodbye to me, like always. But they looked at me like it was the last time they'd see me. Cowards, insidious spawn. They were glad I was going to die. But I'll show them. Tyrendilev will live. A new Tyrendilev whose eyes are finally open. I hear the rustling of wings and I emerge from the cave where I imprisoned myself. Who is it? A friend. An enemy. And this is the gold dragon, right? Sunbeams refract off his scales as he hovers before me, surrounded by a glowing halo. Yeah, the gold dragon Haliceliax. A part of me wants to fly to him and make a circle of honor around him, as any good student should, but the part of me that turned my scales black is ready to seize his gleaming throat. How dare he fly here, flaunting his purity and innocence? He wants to humiliate me, drag me through the mud, but I'll show him. No, what am I thinking? My mentor has come all this way to save me. He would never abandon me. Someone called him to my aid. Moving heavily, I take flight to greet him, but my body, controlled by the foulness, straightens like an arrow. His vulnerable throat is so close. One strike and I'll destroy you, Haliceliax. What happened next? I don't know, but I know the place where Tyrendilev was believed to have sought refuge for her tarnished soul. I saw Sarkorian ruins, a wide branching tree next to them. Perhaps there'll be something there that will shed some light on the fate of mentor and student. Something I can tell us how Tyrendilev's strength of spirit helped it to ultimately overcome the foulness within him. Can you say anything about her future? It's so strange that you should ask. We all know what happened to Tyrendilev, but sometimes it seems I hear her voice in the visions. Her voice full of pain and despair, as if she is in the darkness which she cannot escape. I cannot solve the mystery of this vision, but it worries me. Well, we know now from meta-knowledge, because I'm pretty sure her carcass has been reanimated, so that's why he's getting a future reading on an entity that should otherwise be dead. Appreciate the story. I guess we'll restore this one. Give the storyteller the several broken gauntlets and the necessary materials. Restore this relic for me. The metal in the elf's hands takes the shape of armor plates. The demon blood sizzles on them like on a red-hot grill, and the essence is absorbed, leaving behind a greyish residue. This relic is called the Stern Hand. That was the name given to it by its owner, a Sarkorian witch hunter. The 2 gloves represent the bond between 2 beings. People who wear such relics do not live for themselves, but die for others. I think my barbarian might have worn this one. Had some aspects that translated across that made it worthwhile. Right. So Dragon's Fate, in order to continue this, we'd have to find place near Wintersun. Go to the Sanctum. I'll report to Irabeth. That's Blackwater, and that's the DLC. So the gloves we just got. Yeah, Stern Hand. These spiked gauntlets grant the wearer's animal companion, as well as Azata Dragon or Lich's companion. That's really good. A +6 bonus to their strength ability score. Not sure how much that would help Steve. Actually, no, he is using a composite longbow, so that does translate. At the beginning of the battle, the creature must pass a will saving throw or start attacking party members. Ah, that's a problem. If the initial saving throw is failed, the creature can make a new saving throw each round of the effect. Only at the start of battle though, assuming they make the save. Hang on, but you're also undead. Should you not be impervious to that mental fuckery? I suppose with a high enough save, they can bypass that. DC 17, right? So they have to roll a 7. So odds are definitely in their favour. What gloves am I wearing? Actually, I'm not wearing any gloves right now. I don't think it will apply. I need to double check though what the sheet shows. My understanding is that they're usually impervious to anything that kind of screws with their brain. Immunity to bleed, petrification, death effects, disease, paralysis, poison, sleep, and stunning. Nothing about mind control though. Unless it's somewhere else. No constitution score, they use their charisma instead. It might affect them. I need to test that out. Seki, thank you very much for the 21-month resub, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Hello. Yeah, Steve's strength right now is sitting at a solid 10. Just wearing these gloves would be an instant +6. Which gives him a bit more heft. Well, that's the weapon effect of the buff I gave myself. Damn, that is a lot of blood. Yeah, nothing in their character sheet suggests that they're impervious to mind control. There are certain mental things they can sidestep, unless it's not explicitly stated. I mean, there's some entries that are completely empty, which is very stupid. But yeah, bleed, petrification, death effects, disease, paralysis, poison, sleep, and stunning. So I think that they could still turn against me. Whereas in my case, immunity to cold, paralysis, sleep. They should be immune. I don't know this, do I though? I'm basing it off of what their character sheet is telling me. Unless it's hidden, so it's not explicitly stated. Won't know until he's affected. But let's say if he is immune, it just means I gave him a free bonus to damage in the form of that +6 strength. What is the bonus regardless again? It is a... It just says +6 bonus, not saying enhancement, so I think you'd also be able to cast something else on top of that to further increase strength to make it stackable. So that could definitely work to help bolster the damage. So having exhausted the storyteller's dialogue,
Watch out for trouble.
let's have a quick word with Irabeth. It totally slipped my mind to give her the good news that the dragon's no longer a threat. So I should also remove that from the quest log. The checklist grows ever shorter.
Does anyone require my counsel? Keep your calm.
Let's see, taking care of the dragon that was attacking our patrols. That's one less problem to contend with. Now we can take the extra lookouts off dragon duty and reassign them to more useful tasks. Excellent work. Thanks. Alright. Although 800 XP, Jesus. It's like, here, take some chump change, why don't you, as recompense for having slayed a creature of immense and ancient power. Oh, thanks, yeah, for sure.
There are many roads to success.
Gonna offload some of the items we found on our little foray. Misread that. I thought the Erebus says goodbye with a short bow. I'm like, what? Short bow.
I'm up for an adventure.
Where she just like raises a short bow. It's like, see ya, Commander. And she dangles a freaking long range weapon in my face. Maybe it's an orc thing. Corrosive, Judgment. So yeah, I'd probably do away with these three. The shield. That's only a +1. The rest of these are kind of debatable. We don't have anybody that can make use of this thing. It looks like it's a nice helmet. I've never done shapeshifting or wild shaping in either games. Are you doing alright? No, not in particular. I'm managing. Thank you for asking. I don't think I'll use that. So that gives us another 29,000. I don't think he's... Wait, when the hell did he get that one? He's got a belt of Constitution of 6. I can't recall if he actually increases his repertoire or not. Or maybe it was here the whole time. It's pretty thick. Maybe he's Constitution out of all of us. I don't think that is like crazy important. Especially given that most of my crew are, well, for lack of a better term, dead. So I won't serve them. We can hold off on having to buy that.
Focus on the goal.
So let's see. Yeah, so we need more before we can restore the cloak. This is still there for the pages, we can close that. That is continue to work on improving discipline, supplies, alliances and combat strength. Companion quest is save Ember. Get closer to Is. We need to speak to Arushale for that one. That's DLC content. Let's go to Blackwater. Let's go to the Sanctum. And this is go to Trendlev's lair. So actually a few of these are still possible to be completed. I'm picturing the Monty Python arrow hitting message for you, sir. Yeah, in my case it goes straight
for trouble
through my head.
Keep your calm.
So, quests that we can do in town right now. We can speak to Arushale. I think she's going to be experiencing the first semblance of her dream world. Well, not quite, but as close as she can manage.
There are many roads to success.
Let's see. You've never seen Arushale looking so happy and inspired. She gives you a wide smile. There you are. Can't wait to share my joy with you. Okay, what do you want to tell me? Remember how I told you about Desna leading me onto the path of redemption? I was trying to mock her by corrupting the dreams of mortals, and the great dreamer couldn't tolerate that. She ruined my game, and made me spend what seemed like a whole eternity in her realm. I had a lot of time to reflect on my past misdeeds, and when the goddess saw that I had repented, she decided to let me go. I still vividly remember her parting words, and what do you dream about? This riddle weighed on my mind for many years. Demons do not dream when they sleep. We don't have dreams at all. We have desires and we act on those desires no matter the cost. How was I supposed to find something to dream about? been observing the mortals, trying to understand how it all works, and finally, I had my very own dream. So many years of hard work. I almost gave up at one point, but here it is, a dream, a real dream of my very own. I want to show it to you. You don't mind, do you? Come, I'll take you to my dream. I can't wait for you to see it. Sure. Okay, and then I think we get taken there. I think it's initially a very blank canvas. It's quite different to how we would perceive dreams. But you know, baby steps. Let's see, it is cool and quiet in Arushale's dream. The ground is firm beneath your feet, and thin mist curls along the surface. In the soft, eerie light emanating from invisible stars, you see nothing. As you look around, you see nothing, and no one except for you and Arushale. Nevertheless, the succubus is beaming with joy. There it is, an actual dream. My very first one. Is this what mortals see every night? Does it look like your own dreams? What do you think? Why is this place so empty? Empty? I don't know. This is my first dream ever. I don't know what it should be like here. Arushale looks around, her smile fades a bit. There is nothing to see here right now. Perhaps I was so keen on the idea of having a dream that it made all my other wishes and urges too pale in comparison. Now I have to learn how to dream properly. Arushale catches your eye, cocking her head to the side. Tell me, what do you dream about? My guy? Probably power. Right, the commander's title alone gives you a lot of power over your people. But what if you want more? Perhaps a royal title would suit you better. I can picture you in a crown quite well. That came out of nowhere. Would have been nice if there was a bit of a shimmer to that. Suddenly, a royal throne appears before you as if by magic. Look, look! Now I have a dream as well. And it's not just something I made up. It's so wonderful sharing a dream with you. Do you like your newfound dreams? They're the most beautiful thing in the world. This world is mine and mine only. It's a bit empty right now, but I'm learning fast. Do you ever take a quick look around? Alright, let's see. I can't remember. Is there someone here the first time you come here, or is it just... No, that happens later. There's an entity. Wait, is Steve with me?
Never stop learning.
Oh, he is. Oh, bless you. Tuh. I guess he got to join us. Look at him.
Knowledge is the key to victory.
Don't come near me or my son ever again.
Focus on the goal.
Let's go back. Hey Gladius, you open your eyes. It seems that no time passed in the real world while you were in Arushale's dreams. So, that was my dream. I'm happy I was able to show it to you. It's kind of empty right now, but I know how to remedy that. I need to keep learning from mortals, following in their footsteps until I figure out how to forge my own path. Naturally, I wouldn't even think about breaking into someone else's dream, as the goddess surely wouldn't forgive that. Perhaps I should ask the people of the city. What if they won't talk to me at all? Is there a chance that you could help me once more? Ask the city's people what they dream about. They're more likely to open up to you than to me. And I'll just follow you silently. They won't even notice me listening in. Yes, because that isn't creepy at all. Sure. So I think you need to, need to ask like this list of folks. Start piecing them together. I think I've sold all the random junk we found, or at least the stuff that matters anyways. Ish.
Watch out for trouble.
I assume that Trucklefolk Greyboar is chilling here. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why exactly he's investing in cardio, but I guess he must hate his little legs. This game's weird, man. Strange. Sometimes you have to run away from the demons. Maybe it's a metaphor. You know why people drink? To run away from their problems. He's just more of a physical embodiment of it right now. Yeah, he's not officially in the party anymore. Guess they must have removed him for the time being. Oh, I also need someone to use this. You don't come across many of these types of items that are one-time consumables. They actually give you like a permanent buff. So the it's called the Grand Owl of Wisdom, yet it's a figurine in the shape of a cat. This figurine of a cat is engraved with a name that doesn't fit its appearance, hence Grand Owl of Wisdom. Once activated, it grants the user a permanent +1 bonus to all skill checks. The one that currently I think has the highest, aside from Wolgif, is Arushalan. Hers a higher. I reckon she could probably chomp on that, give herself that statistical bonus. Been carrying it for a while. Those are some very, very high statistics. At least if you lean into the ones that are her speciality.
Got a job for me, Commander?
Let's see. Is there much point adding him to the retinue? I mean, he does eventually have a couple of quests. I don't necessarily use him, but you can still hang around. You've proven yourself to be a good ally. I'd like to extend our contract.
I'm ready to offer you my services. As you can guess, a full contract will be more expensive than a one-time job. I think 12,500 gold would be a fair price.
So I think if you... I believe there's merit if you pay him more, so that way he doesn't get any ideas. There's a moment while you're in Alushanera, and he's put into a position where he has to make a choice. Whether he stays on your side or whether he... I forget who it's with. Basically whatever the Assassin's kind of guild is in Alushanera. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is one of those things that can be either a check or a cross to his affinity for you. And we got the money to throw around. I think your services are worth more than that, so I'm willing to double the price.
It is always a great pleasure to work with a client who can tell a professional from an amateur. It's rare these days to find someone who appreciates high-quality work and is willing to pay for what it's worth. I think this is the beginning of a long and productive partnership.
I like to think that he is actually genuinely running on the spot while he says this, just constantly pulling off cardio. He's a chill enough assassin that I double his pay every time, not like I need the money. I know, yeah, you have like an overflow of it, so why not? So I think now he's officially in your retinue once again. Yeah, so he's back now in his entirety, with all of his gear and other shinies in tow. He's got that standing desk treasure. He really does. I feel like there's a soundtrack that should be playing here. It's funny, you pay the fucker 25,000, and if you suddenly felt like, hey yo, prick, you could like just take all of his stuff, vendor it, and probably just get that money back. It's free real estate. He's doing Skyrim Oblivion training, Seth. Oh, to raise his, what was it? I think it's like athletics? I forget how the maths works in that game. But I think it's something like that. Maybe. Yeah, now you get access to the rest of his dialogue. We'll worry about that later.
Does anyone require my counsel?
Gotta jump the hills put it through fast leveling athletics. That was a thing with Oblivion. Very easy to work yourself into a corner with that game if you weren't paying attention. People often mistook any skill increase as their character getting stronger. I mean, there was some truth in that, but the problem with that damn game is that every time you leveled up, your enemies were doing the same thing. I think my first playthrough, I ended up in a situation where my character had the levels, but the way I built them, the enemies were just simply too powerful. I had to decrease the game's difficulty
Keep
to
your calm.
make any headway. Ah, there's my Skelly Bros. Yeah, so you actually do see some of them. That makes sense though, because I seem to recall
There are many
both
roads
during
to
the
success.
Demon and Angel playthrough that you saw, you know, like NPCs patrolling that fit that bill. It'd be weird if that wasn't the case. I'm gonna assume that Zacharias is still dragging his feet when it comes to my
I'm up for an
continued
adventure.
ascension towards Lichdom. I've let a few days pass, though I suspect he'll probably waltz into the commander's room and be like, "Hey yo, student, new ritual, who dis?" I'll double check
I
though.
will guide.
Oh yeah, I did kick Staunton out, didn't I? I just realised I thought I was fine, but I'm not actually rocking a full party. Steve just made it look like I had one. Whoops. Hi. Let's see, he prepares him into a Lich. No, yeah, he's like, I'm busy. Yeah, no dice. I got so used to this. Portrait rings. What? Wait, why would you say this? Just bullying the poor bastard.
Focus on the goal. Keep your wits about you.
I do wish there were more instances of them interjecting. Both normal companion dialogue and when you're resting as well. They don't really say anything, so while I'm grateful you get unique NPCs, it does feel... I guess that would have been a lot more work comparatively, so I get why they did that. But it does suck. It's more like you've got either mercenaries for hire or just mindless drones. Then again, as a Lich, perhaps that's what you want. Alright, I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm not doing so good right now. Normally I'd kind of just hunker down and keep streaming, but my brain is not in a good place. So I'm gonna do something which I don't normally like to do, and go into my little hidey hole and be left alone. But I will come back tomorrow, hopefully feeling better, and continue from where I've left off. But I'll make sure you guys have somewhere to hang out. So I will toss you to... where do I toss you to? I'll toss you to Enki. He's actually playing PoE, which is somewhat surprising. What's he doing? Viewer build submission. I'm sure that'll keep you guys interested. As always, in case you guys need to reach me, be it before or after the stream, there is a linky link to Discord. A reminder, we do currently have a straw poll open in the announcements section of Discord. So if you guys want to cast your vote for what race and class you want to see me play for the first campaign of BG3, you can cast your vote there. Thank you to Seke for the 21 a month resub, Camcool and Dariex for the biddies, Atreus, thank you for the 52 months at tier 3, Dutchman for the 74 months, and Slayer for the 53. I'll touch over to Enki now, who seems to be doing a few stuff and things with PoE. I think he's fighting the Maven right now, so I hope you'll hop on over to his stream and say hello. As for me, I am gonna go away for a bit. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon, but until then, enjoy the rest of your upcoming weekend, and I'll see you